Mr. Friesen.
Hello.
How's it going? What did I say?
Wherever you like. Who are you?
Isaiah.
That's what I thought. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Of course. Yeah, so there's a bunch of confusion on my end. So the first day of our class, I didn't join our class because I didn't join our Zoom because I didn't see your day one class information. And so when I went to go do it, I was just like, okay, I guess we're not meeting today.
Okay.
And so I didn't see any of our assignments.
But you've been able to come back to cycle back.
I was able to come
That's
back
good.
and fix it.
Okay. That's all right. We're okay. We'll figure it all out.
Just took a minute.
Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I see that everything else is coming, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Okay. And if not, we'll clean it up. All right. So that's done. Day 7.
I was in the class and then everybody could tell me how bad
Hey, for those of you at home, if you can hear this, you can comment to the class by typing in Google Classroom. You can also type in the chat to let me know you're there. Thanks.
Can I say hi?
You may sit wherever you like.
Oh,
How are you?
hello, good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
School was a bit sad.
School's a little sad.
Yeah, it's big.
Could be worse. Could be raining. Hi, welcome. Who are you?
Anthony.
Who was that?
Anthony.
Anthony what?
Russ.
Oh, I got the wrong day on here. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Is this new table?
Nope. Exact same.
I remember they're less shiny than last year.
They're what?
They're more shiny than last year.
Well, they're probably cleaner, that's for sure. So we got Anthony Russ, and we got Jing, and we've got, who was that other one? Miller. Cool. Welcome. Jameson Red, welcome. Hey, Jameson, if you can hear this, are you using your Jeff Go Schools account on a school computer, question mark? Hi, who are you?
Iana.
Iana what?
Last name's Rendon.
Rendon, gotcha. Thank you for coming. Dun, dun, dun. I own Mac. Thank you, Jameson. I'm glad you can hear me, though. Hi, welcome. Who are you?
Neil.
Neil. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen you if you're on the Zooms.
Yes.
Welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, wherever you like, Neil. Wherever you like.
We have our Spotify here.
It's not there. Why isn't it there? Oh, geez. Weird. That's really strange. Thank you, Jameson. Very strange. Didn't I just build this link? Link. Paste. Add link. Save. I don't know. That's really strange. Jameson, where did you find the YouTube link? Should be there now. Probably. No, not at all. Okay. Nice. You think that's good? Crazy. You're now live. I know that. Okay, so a few people came in without me acknowledging you. So who would that have been?
Devin.
Who was that?
Devin.
Devin what? Devin Waldrop.
Yep.
Thanks. And you are? Mariah Marshall. Sweet. Where are you coming from, Mariah? I was looking at your history and there was time. You're like a new. Hi, who are you? Can you use that thing there? Abby what?
Warner?
Abby Warner, welcome. I think I sent you an email about you're in the wrong Turnitin class.
Oh,
So
yeah,
just
I saw
register
that.
for the right one. Thanks. No worries. I sent you all the codes though, so you should be good. Looks like we've got Alyssa at home. Isn't that fun? And oh, this is very challenging for me. So Alyssa's at home. And oh, I got a new subscriber. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I have like 24 subscribers. I only need like 977 more. Getting there. And Bryce, I got you. If you can hear this, that's great. You're at home today. Awesome. So did I talk to you already? Did we already talk? We talked, right? Yeah, and you. And I talked to you and you. I think we still have a minute here. Excellent. JC Moore, I see you. You're not late. We're good, JC. But why are you on the computer, JC? Aren't you supposed to be here right now? I'm so confused. Hi, who are you? Cody. Cody, what?
Rivers.
Did you do some hand sanitizer?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Welcome. Okay. But you're at home. Question mark. I couldn't get a ride. I see. So JC, you're going to want to excuse your absence. Okay. So have somebody call into the attendance office and excuse you so that you can still watch the class so you're not missing anything. But this, you should excuse your absence, okay? Since you're supposed to be in the building today. Does that make sense, JC? Let me know. You guys should like and subscribe on the video, okay? Way cool. Yup. Thanks, JC. Are we live here? Let's see. These are not the right times.
We got
10:26. Oh, yeah, we're good. Okay. Hey, welcome. Excuse me. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. And for everybody at home, thanks for being here. My name is Mr. Friesen. I'll be your teacher for the day. I have started the class off the same way every day, so let's just not change that. Good morning. Thanks for coming. Thanks for making English a part of your day. My name is Mr. Friesen. I'll be your teacher for the day. I have a poem to start things off. Did we already read this poem? Do you have any advice for those of us just starting off? No? Does that ring a bell?
No.
I don't think so. Oh, yeah, yesterday was small. See, here's what's wrong with me. Well, in addition to so many things wrong with me, is I did this first. This is like your first day of school, even though I've already done this 4 times. And you've been in school for several weeks. It's kind of weird because we have all these starts that are not really starts. Anyway, good morning. Thanks for coming. Thanks for making English a part of your day. I've got a poem to start things off. It's by Ron Kirchie, and it's called, Do You Have Any Advice for Those of Us Just Starting Out? And it goes just like this. Give up sitting dutifully at your desk. Leave your house or apartment. I didn't read this yet? No. Oh, my gosh. Give up sitting dutifully at your desk. Leave your house or apartment. Go out into the world. It's all right to carry a notebook, but a cheap one is best with pages of colors of the color of wheat tea, and on the front, a kitten or a spaceship. Avoid any enclosed space where there are more than 3 people wearing turtlenecks. Beware any snow-covered chalet with deer tracks across the muffled tennis courts. Not surprisingly, libraries are a good place to write, and the perfect place in a library is near an aisle where a child a year or 2 old is playing as his mother browses the ranks of the dead. Often he will pull books from the bottom shelf. The title, the author's name, the brooding photo on the flap mean nothing. Red book on black, gray book on brown. He builds a tower. And the higher it gets, the wider he grins. You who ask for advice, listen. When the tower falls, be like that child. Laugh so loud, everybody in the world frowns and says, shh. And start again. And you guys say? Sweet. And definitely make it like the smart, like there's something that you're brooding over there. Thanks for coming, my friends. So here's how this thing works. Oh, nice. And somebody at home even gave me the that's awesome. Thank you. All right, here we go. Today's plan is as follows. I'm going to say welcome and read a poem, and then agenda. Part of the class is you have to check in. So right now, if you're in the room, if you could pull out a computer and check into class. I know you're here because I just marked it. Yeah, on your phone works too. And it's okay if you don't and you're here. You're still here according to the school attendance. But what it does is it just makes it so it's turned in on my Google Classroom, because what I try to flag down is like things that are missing, and you're not missing. So it's just, I don't know, it just helps me. I think I showed this at home yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, but I'm going to show you right now. If you're in the room, this is really for you if you're in the room right now. It's this. It's this. So if I make this smaller, you guys wrote about the use of force and that story Girl, and then gathering words, the woman in the laundromat, and then the flea. And then I had you guys do things. Just glance at the screen real quick. If you're in the room, watch this. This is what I received from you guys. And you might have seen this at home, but I don't know if you could have seen it. This is what I received when people turned that in. Just watch the screen. That's what 3 sections of period studies said to me about 4 pieces. Because I have I don't know, I have 90 some period study students, and they each had to say 4 things. So this is what it looks like. Or actually, they had to say 3 things about 4 pieces. So the reason I sometimes ask you to do these kind of mechanical things on the computer is if you've done it this way, then I can like sort by who and all that, and it just makes I can still find your work, but it's just a little bit more efficient for me on the other end. So that's why I'm having you check in, even though you're sitting here. That's kind of my logic there. All right. So we'll go back here. Present. Okay. So today what we're going to do is you check in. If you're at home, you absolutely need to check in at the beginning of the period. That's how I know you're here. There's a question you answered. What was our question about? Mulan. Okay. And sometimes you hate the choices that I give you, and you have to pick one of them, okay? And that's just the way it is. That's the same case with voting this fall if you're going to do that. Anybody going to vote this fall? Anybody 18? None of you are going to be 18 in November?
My birthday is literally the day after.
Literally?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I was in college. It fell exactly my first year in college with my first vote. 1988 was my first vote. Let's see, who have I voted for? I voted for Reagan, Perot, Nader, Clinton. I don't know. I voted every single party out there because I vote the person much more than the party. I vote based on what?
Based off of merit?
Yeah, well, I don't know about merit, but I certainly vote based on. I'm not a party, but things were different in the 80s. Things were different. We were not as polarized into parties as we were back then, or are now. Anyway, let's not talk about politics because that's not fun. Oh wait, Alyssa, what did you say? They left out. Oh yeah, very good. Yay! See, people at home are talking. I talked to you guys yesterday, and can you talk to me for a minute? On YouTube Live, it's kind of awful, right? Yeah, okay, so I have all kinds of nods. This is how I'm going to run things for a while, because I think Zoom is, for me, worse, because the bandwidth is constantly getting screwed up. And I said this to the people yesterday. You guys are what I'm working with today. The people at home, yeah, you get the little benefit on the side. But at the end of the day, the work we do in class, I want it to be meaningful. And I think it's more meaningful if I'm giving you in here, I'm trying to give you like 80% of the attention. And then I'm trying to give 20% to the people at home. Like and subscribe, okay? And they at home can, I know how things work. You can kind of be listening, and then you can gauge your day however you want. But I want the work in here to be meaningful. And if Zoom is on, I think I'll be spending so much of my time like trying to. Remember when I asked you to volunteer and nobody volunteered? Your camera wasn't on and people were robots. I'm not going to do that. Okay. So does anybody have any comments or questions about the experience yesterday versus the experience today or anything? I'd love to hear feedback. Yeah.
I enjoyed it more.
Neil talking, everybody at home. Sorry.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it because I was able to do the assignment that you gave us while you were talking.
Right.
And not only that, like you said, it was kind of me dropping.
Yeah.
So I could, and this is a bonus for B students, I could prepare myself for what was going to happen today.
Cool. So Alyssa just said, Neil, speak up. Basically, he said he was able to prepare for today. Very good. It's kind of hard to hear. I think it's hard to hear for two reasons. One is I'm kind of yelling into the microphone. Two is we're wearing masks, you know. So, but thanks for being attentive there. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to tell me if you're seeing things in your other classes that you're like, oh my God, that was amazing, because I'm willing to do this. But it's kind of weird because you guys were on the machine yesterday and today you're here, and then we won't see each other again until like next Thursday. It's crazy. So we'll just, I don't know. I'm just making it up. Okay. All right. Comments, questions. We good? All right. If you're at home, once again, you can comment in the live chat box. You can comment right here into Google Classroom because I can see the comment box here and it pops up. It refreshes every minute or so. I can see over here, Group B. So you can always say something in Group B and I can see that. So that's how you at home would talk to me during class. If you desperately say, Friesen, your audio is out, or we don't have that file you say we have, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You can kind of run your own school how you want a little bit, which means if you want to kind of do everything at 2 o'clock in the morning, but if you want to do this classwork during class time and it's not available, you guys just need to let me know. Okay, so here we go. So welcome poem we did. We're doing the agenda. So the agenda is I'm going to ask you I'm going to talk to you about checking your grades. We're going to extend the essence object box thing you guys did at home. You guys did at home, and then these guys did in the room. But we're going to extend it with 3 more items today. Then we're going to do this values exercise today. And that values exercise is a piece of paper that I gave you guys at home. I gave this to you yesterday, and then you guys in the room here have it today. And then this piece of paper with the values exercise, we're going to do this today. And we're going to do the backside next week. So I'm trying to think ahead with what handouts we need for the future. And then we're going to actually look at real personal statements because you guys have to write a personal statement next week. And so we'll look at 4 real ones that people have produced. And then you can kind of look at like, we're always going to do in this class, well, not always, but one way I teach lit is we begin by just what the heck is the piece about? So what's the first personal statement about? You know, what was its subject? What happens? Who's the characters? What's the setting? You know, what's the subject matter of your personal statement? But then we're also going to look at how. How did this person create it? What choices did he or she make in terms of structure, language, style, stuff like that? Not the choice you make in terms of what it's about, but the choices you make on how the tale is told. And then we're going to add to this why, which is why would somebody find it engaging? And that's probably because it's tapping into a universal condition. What values are you kind of are woven into your personal statement? Okay, so we're going to look at that. So that's what we're going to do. And then you have some homework, okay? Somebody yesterday said, was it yesterday? Maybe 2 days ago. They said they were sort of unsure what to do in this class. Let me know if you're ever unsure. But I try to give you a plan on the second slide or the third slide of every slideshow. And I try to give you the final slide is always kind of like, here's what you have to do. So I try to do it twice. Comments, questions? We good? Okay. What other class? Is this your first class today? Anybody? Your first class of the day? Yep. Welcome. You have a really short silver day then, right? Mm-hmm. Your name is? Abby. And I'm going to ask you your names over and over for a couple of reasons. One is I'm not great with human interaction and names. I'm actually an introvert. When I go to like parties and stuff, I sit in the corner by myself. I'm terrible at that. I don't even speak to my own family at like family gatherings. Okay. I'm really bad at that, which is ironic because I'm a teacher when I stand up in front of people, but it's the same case you hear about like, actors and comedians and people like that they're effusive. So I have but I'm bad with names. And so here's why I'm really bad with your name. Today is the first day I've seen you and it's already September 11th. Number 2 is, I can only see half your face. And number 3 is I don't have like a seating chart right now. So don't feel bad if I ask you your name. And Jing, don't feel bad if I ask you your name because I want you to feel like everybody else in here, which is unknown, okay? Can you cover your nose, please? That's great. Okay, we good? Okay, anything about the experience of anybody this your last period of the day? And you're home at 11:40 on a Friday.
Every day.
That's a pleasure. I think this is awful, okay? I didn't sign up to do this. I actually just got an email this morning from my college I attended, and they said, thinking of choosing a new career? And I'm like, oh, God, yeah, because this is not the job I envisioned for myself or wanted. But I don't know. I really value that you're here. We'll make the best of it. Okay, here we go. Ready? Boom. I have to remember which screen we're on right now. There we go. Okay. Okay, checking your grades. I said this last week, and I'm saying it again. Keep checking Infinite Campus. And a blank assignment, if you just have a blank, it just means I haven't gotten around to scoring it yet. If I do have it, okay? So don't freak out for blanks. But you should be most concerned with assignments that are missing, because right now those are coming in as a 0 on your grade, and they're pulling you down. If there are things like the plagiarism thing, all you do is turn it in and get all the points. But if there are things that were due last week and you still haven't done them, well, that's when they were due. Late work. You should tell me when you submit something late, because then I'll go through. If I haven't scored it yet, you're fine. But if I already scored them, I'm not going in looking up at things I've already scored. So if you submit something late, you should tell me so that I know to go back and score it from you. Because I don't know, and there's ways you can tell me. You can use the late form. You can send me a private message. You can send me an email. Okay. Attendance and tardies do affect your grade in this class, okay? I have a Michelle Garcia policy and bottom line is you get 3 free tardies, and then I start dinging your grade, and it's 10 points a day, and essentially that'll equate to about it'll equate to about 1% after the 3 tardies. Tardies are both in the building as well as online, and the way I know you're tardy online is you don't fill out the little question at the beginning of the period. If you don't check in or check out at home, I'm going to assume you're not there, and I'll mark you as absent. And if you're not there because you're in the hospital or you're on a trip to Hawaii, then just have mom or dad call the attendance office just like normal. No big deal, okay? Make sure you take care of those things. Comments or questions? So I would think right now, if you want on your grades, I would think that I have not graded a couple things, like your introductory little essay about yourself. That's the next one I got to get to. And I didn't look at the slideshow you made, but I think I've actually looked at everything else you've submitted by now. If you have an issue with your grade, email me. I don't know if any of you have emailed me yet. I tend to respond to an email. Unless I'm teaching or eating lunch, I tend to respond to that within seconds because I just want to get it off my plate. Okay? Comments? We good? All right, that's enough procedural stuff. Here we go. So Essence Object Box. I had you guys yesterday at home, and you all that are on the machine in the building, you created an Essence Object list. So it says, take a look at it. So find it, please. So it might be on a machine. It might be on a piece of paper. So find it right now. If you're in the room right now, here's kind of what I expect you to have access to in the room. Something to write with, blue or black pen, right? Pencil. Something to write on, which would be paper, although I have paper in a drawer over there and pens. But then something to do the electronic stuff. So that would be your phone, or that would be your Chromebook or whatever. Make sense? Okay, so take a look at your Essence object list that you completed for today. A quick definition of the word essence. An essence is the intrinsic nature or indispensable quality of something, especially something abstract, that determines its character. As a property or group, the essence is something without which the thing would not exist or be what it is. So essence is the intrinsic nature of something, the indispensable quality of something, the thing that determines its character, the thing without which it would not exist or be what it is. And your essential object, the object, it's really you. You know, what is your intrinsic nature? What is your indispensable quality? What determines your character? And without these qualities, you would not be who you are. So here's what I'd like you to do. Survey your list. Look back at the list that you built. Can you guys do that, by the way, after I've returned something on Google Drive or what? I've never used Google Classroom. I have children who've used it all through elementary and middle school. Yeah.
So for Google Classroom,
yes.
It's actually up to you whether or not you allow students to look back on their work after they submitted it.
Okay. So right now, what is the status of this class?
I'm pretty sure we can look back on it.
Okay.
But I don't know how to change that. It's not.
Okay, thank you. So if you ever have an issue where I tell you to look at it, you just tell me because I don't. Here's two problems with Google Classroom. Number one is I don't use it that much, and number two is I don't actually see what you see. You know, hey.
So for Google Classroom, we can go back and see the assignment. However, if you want us to make changes and edit it, you have to return that assignment back to us, and then we have to resubmit it once we've made the changes.
Perfect. Okay.
Once we turn it in, we can't make changes.
So once you've turned it in and I have not returned it to you, it's kind of out of your world. Okay. And it's my understanding, I hadn't even seen this till yesterday. It's my understanding when you get a little Google Doc, there's a new button up top called turn in or something like that. Is that what happens? What I have sometimes is students who I can tell they did it, but they didn't punch the turn in, so make sure you do that. I also have students who just hit turn in on a blank form, I don't know if that's satisfying in a way of I don't know, setting up an online dating profile, but then never actually going on a date. I have no idea. Jing, we're good. Yes. We happy? Okay. Nose. I know it's awful. Do you have a wire there? Yeah, that helps. I never thought that would be my job as a teacher. I always thought my job would be put your phone away. Put your phone away. Oh, no, wait. You need your phone. I'm sorry. Okay. Cover your face. I never thought I'd be saying that repeatedly. By the way, we have some supplies here for you if you need them, if you want the Kleenex. Do you guys feel ever since COVID, if you have a little bit of a sore throat, you're oh my God, or you have a little runny nose, you're oh no, you don't feel that way? Do you guys like your masks? I kind of like these ones. These are Bocos. This is a running company, and so it's kind of a breathable one. It's like a fitness thing, Yes.
Where did they get the masks that they were handing out?
They probably got them from cheapthing.com, I think is probably where they got them from. They're probably the cheapest masks that Jeffco could buy 80,000 of like that,
Those masks are better than those masks.
Oh, really? Oh, good. I'm glad. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually looking forward to the next day it's 12 degrees outside because you put your mask on, you're oh, added benefit, We good? It's going to be 87 degrees this weekend. You guys love the snow? You like snow?
Yes.
Not in September, but can't complain.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so survey your list. Check. Now here's the part you have to do. As you survey your list, which essences are missing? Is every aspect of you there? See, I'm going to flip it. Before I said, what's an object? And then you could probably think about what does that object mean to me? And so you're one of the objects I would put in there is this stupid little cat ornament I have. And why would I put that on there? Well, I can go back in time and I can say, oh, when I was a kid, part of my Christmas tradition was that every single Christmas I received an ornament. And then what happened was that when I became an adult and had my own house, my mother handed me a box of 25 or 20 different ornaments. And she said, these were what I gave you every year when you were growing up. And then my first tree was full of all of the years that I was growing up. But now what I'm going to do is I want you to go back to your essences. What are the intrinsic, indispensable, determinant qualities of you? So is every aspect of you in one of those objects? Think more abstractly. Think of qualities that are not represented on the list. Look at the phrases in blue above. How could you represent qualities in terms of objects? For example, if you keep lists, maybe you should put Post-it notes in your box. Or if you're an easily angered person, maybe you could put lighter fluid in your box. Or if you are good at a lot of things, maybe a Swiss Army knife. Or if you're a sharp person, you put in an X-Acto knife. So now instead of thinking of the things you love and then what they show about you, now think of something about yourself and then invent an object that you would put in there. So I'll give you an example for myself. One of my traits that I hate the most of myself, but I believe it is absolutely a part of my character is that I have a temper. And I've had it my whole life. I think it's way better now than it used to be. I have 2 children and I see their temper and I know I got it from my father. It's almost like I inherited it on like some chromosome. And so if I had to show you that I have a temper, I might say, well, if I could put something in my box, I would put a handful of car glass in my box. Because when I was 17 years old and a student at Columbine, I drove my car to my parents' house and I was mad. And so I went like this, bam, to the passenger side window, and it shattered into a million little pieces because I was mad. And then I had to tell my dad that I did that, and I had to, explain to him that I was immature and couldn't afford that. So it's not a quality of myself that I like, but I would probably, it's an essential part of who I am, unfortunately, and it's something I deal with, is a temper. And it's so immature and it's so embarrassing, okay? Or you could find an essential quality that you have that's positive. It doesn't matter. Like I like to organize things. I kind of like everything to be in its place a little bit. So I might include in my Essence object box just like a bunch of note cards, because I would really like to make note cards. One of my problems is I'm a little bit. I don't have OCD, okay? But everybody says they have OCD. I don't have it. Both of my children have it, and they're medicated for it. But I do have the ability to put things in order. So, like, that's my problem, is everything has to be in order sometimes. I started watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe this summer, and I decided to watch it in order. But that's a problem because in addition to the 23 movies or whatever, there's also all of these TV shows. So I would have to watch, like, what is that? Some movie like Ant-Man, which is like meh. And then it'd be like season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I'm on step 47 of 71 right now. But collectively, I've watched probably 400 hours to get to that point, because I can't. And then if something were to happen, I'd have to start over at the beginning again. Okay. That's kind of depressing. So in order to show that I'm kind of fixated on things being in order, I put maybe a bunch of note cards in there. So right now your job is, in the private comment for this assignment, please add 3 more objects. In the private comment for this assignment, please add 3 more objects that are your essence. And I'll have no idea why, but it's not for me, it's for you. Does that make sense? Comments or questions? If you're at home, thanks for being here. Oh, somebody just gave me a comment. What does that mean? Is he a kid in this class? He is. How's that work? Let's see.
Wait, it's a private comment?
It's a private comment. I think you can do that right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's a way I think that you can say something about something you've already submitted and I've already returned without changing the original form. Okay. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you telling me what's happening on your end. Yeah. So here's a comment. Thanks for updating me. Am I giving about 80% of my attention to you? I hope so. Let me know if I can help. All right, lovely. Okay, that's done. Goodbye. 3 more things. Oh, that kid just did it at home. Isn't that nice? Okay. Did you guys all subscribe to my channel at home?
Yes.
I do. I was thinking of putting ads on. There's actually a thing when I set up my channel, it's like, would you like ads? And I said, yes. But I don't think they'll put ads on until I'm popular, and that's your job. Yeah. Well, The Simpsons started in 1990, I believe, when I was a junior at the College of William and Mary. That's when Fox as a channel was invented, and Fox was a pure kind of junky entertainment channel. It had this show called Beverly Hills 90210. It had Cops. It had The Simpsons. It had Married with Children. These were all a little more edgy shows. And so watching The Simpsons when The Simpsons first came out in 1990 was very different. But I still remember, I think it was even season 1, And that may have been the season that they predicted Trump would be president, which is crazy. They go to class and all the students are sitting in class and the teacher stands up at the front and she presses play on this big TV and she says, and then it comes up and it says, "Good morning. Today's math class is brought to you by Pepsi." And then all of a sudden there's this math problem and it says, if you have 3 Pepsis and someone gives you 2 Pepsis, how refreshed are you? You know? Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. Okay. Thanks for subscribing. You've added your things. Here we go. Next thing. Boom. So here's now what we're going to do. So now you've got like 13 items in your essence box, maybe. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. The purpose of the object exercise is, well, we have a quote here from T.S. Eliot, famous playwright, famous poet of The Wasteland and Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. His name anagrams to toilets. Okay, T.S. Eliot once said, "The only way to express emotion through art is through an objective correlative." What's an objective correlative? It's an object, a physical, tangible thing to which you can add to or correlate emotion, memory, and complex meaning. It's an object that's more than an object. And that's all we ever do in English classes. We talk about metaphors and similes and analogies. Well, at the end of the day, these objects are more than the objects because they hold meaning. Okay? The literal thing, what it is, holds larger meaning. And that's what art is. That's what anything that is figurative is. Every object in your essence object box is an object correlative, okay? For some important complex part of you. So survey your list. Is it partial? Is it familiar? Is it pretty familiar? It should be familiar. So your personal statement essay that you're going to write should feel that familiar. And I know it's weird because you're going to maybe be giving it out to the world a little bit, but that's part of what's going on. Okay, so now what do we do? To clarify, I'm not saying that any of or all of your objects will end up in your final draft of your personal statement, but some might. And chances are good that you will write about the essences the objects represent. So you could write an entire essay about one of those objects, or you don't have to. But for somebody who's like, I don't know what to write about, I'm like, well, why'd you put one of those objects in your box? What is the personal statement you could derive from that? The point is, if you have taken the objects exercise seriously and have described a unique set of objects, you should have the material for a compelling personal statement. In fact, you should have the material for dozens of personal statements, but we're going to just write one. So the question is, which one? Which essence should you choose? Which leads to our next thing today. And you guys at home already have this, which is the values exercise. So where is donde está el values exercise? Oh, here we go. The values exercise. So take one of these. This is where it actually feels like school. This is my first handout to you guys this year. Have you guys received handouts yet from school?
Yeah.
This is like what school's all about. And I am such a paper and pencil person. I don't like really using the machine too much. So I'm very much a paper and pencil person. So here we go. Take a look, and you guys at home have this, okay? And if you don't, there's a copy of it on Google Classroom. That's another thing you guys would tell me at home is like that thing you say is there is not there, okay? And I'll be happy to upload it. Take a look at the values exercise handout. To begin, look through the list, and I want you to place a check mark in the box beside your top 10 values, and you've got to commit to them. If you need to write a value that is not present, use one of the spaces at the end. You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get 10 boxes. Check 10. Go. Josh Moore, if you're here, you need to check into class. If you're here, thanks. Check in.
Nope.
Nevaeh, who's Nevaeh? Are you Nevaeh? Anybody? No. That's really you. Oh wait, that person might be remote. Oh, she is softball. She's a softball. She's checking in from softball. That's weird. Good for her. I think if you're absent, just be absent. It's okay, you know. But if you want to clean things up, that's nice. Okay. We good? Okay, that was enough time. Consider your essence objects. Do you see a correlation between what you put in that box and what you just marked? Do you see anything on that list of values that relates to the objects you've placed in your box? Okay, next step. Go to those 10 and find 5 and put a star next to 5. So now you're going to cut it in half. Exactly. You've got 30 seconds to turn 10 to 5. The 5 most pressing, most important of your values. Should probably be counting more. Sorry. Is that 5? Is that 30 seconds? I give you 10 seconds. 9, 8. Okay, now you're going to shrink your list again. So take those 5 and underline 3. 3. You have 15 seconds to underline 3 things. And the last thing you do is you circle 1. You circle one of those 3. Which leads us to what we're doing here and kind of why we're here. So right now you have 1 value out of that big, massive list. And, it says bonus, connect with your future. Let me do that real quick. Now take yourself away. Picture yourself in 5 years in what job you want to be working. Okay. Or if you plan on going to college for 8 or 12 years and racking up a ton of debt, that's fine too. Picture yourself in the job you want to be working pretty near in the future. And I would like you to, on this little list, if somebody said like astronaut, I want to be an astronaut. What are the values that astronauts must possess? And put a little A or whatever by astronaut and see if your values align with what you think you want to do. So pick the job you want to do right now. Oh, I want to work at Disney World. Okay, I want to be a person at the Haunted Mansion attraction and I put everybody in their doom buggy. Okay. Well, what are the values that the Disney employee would have to have? And then do they align with yours? So on the little list, see if the job you think you want to do, and if you're like, but I don't want to work a job. Well, get in line, okay? I'm going to be independently wealthy. How? Okay. And if that involves marrying rich, yes. Yes. Gold digging. Literal gold digging or figurative gold digging, either one. Okay. What values? And do the values you possess today align with where you would like to be in the future? I could tell you right now, when I was your age, absolutely. My values then do not align with what I ended up being. Okay. But that's part of your evolution of self. Okay. My epiphanies all came when I was about 20 to 26. I didn't know where I was going to end up, what I was going to do. I feel like I'm pretty aligned with who I was at 26, but I didn't feel at all. I look at who I was at 17, and that person's a stranger to me. But some of you might turn out as older versions of yourself. Some of you might turn into your parents. Scared? All right, good. All right, here we go. Now take a look at what you checked, starred, underlined, and circled as your top value. There's one thing on there that has a check mark, a circle, an underline, and a star. Apparently that thing's important to you. Now here's the part you have to do. The people in the room did this yesterday. And I don't know if you did it at home. I don't know if you felt weird talking to yourself if you did the activity. Take out a piece of paper. So everybody in the room, take out a piece of paper. If you don't have paper, here's some paper. Okay, if you don't have a pen, here's some pens. They get a physical piece of paper. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready? That's an awesome backpack. What's your name again?
Devin.
Devin has a backpack. Good. Devin's backpack. Very good. All right, that's done. That's done. Awesome. Good. Take out a piece of paper, please. Settings. If I do this, this, goodbye. Look at me keeping on track of things. Hi guys at home. I got 6 likes. Thank you so much. If you like this video, remember that Casper mattresses are wonderful, okay? I've been sleeping on a Casper mattress for 2 years. It's the most restful sleep I've ever had. And it comes in this amazing box. And you too can own a Casper mattress. And the best part about it is it has a 60-day free trial. You can bring it home, you can like it, and if you sleep on it, if you don't like it, you can send it back, okay? So go ahead and go to casper.com/Friesen AP English for your 10% off your order. Thank you. Nothing. But wouldn't I be good at it? I mean, that would make high school much more enjoyable than it is. Okay, here we go. On your piece of paper, you have to answer 3 questions. Question number 1 is, why did you choose that top value? And leave yourself a little bit of room. Then question number 2 is, how does this value manifest in your life today? Like right now, how is it there? And number 3, do any of the Essence objects in your box show that value? If so, which one and how? If not, what object would do that? And I will not read this writing. This is completely private writing right now, but I just want to see that you are writing. So spend a few lines writing about, I would hope that you could fill like about, half a page here. Ready, go. Why did you choose that as your top value? How does it manifest in your life? And what object is linked to it, okay? If you're at home, there's no way I'm checking in on you doing this. However, writing informally is good reps for writing formally, which you have to do next week. So just because if you're going to struggle with it, it's probably better to struggle with writing now where there's no stakes. This is like the warm-up run, okay? We always do Mary Jane run first thing in the morning, okay? Before we move on to Gandhi Dancer. You guys know what I'm talking about? No? Don't relate to you people. Let's see. You practice driving in the parking lot, then in the neighborhood, then on the highway. Which parking lot did you practice driving in? Which empty parking lot did somebody take you to? The new 7-Eleven parking lot at Coal Mine or at King Carl and Pierce. Anybody else?
I got tossed the keys and says,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, gee. You learned what? I-70. Nice. You throw your children on Independence Pass when they're 16 and you say, you better not go to the right.
Exactly. It's effective.
I don't know. I sometimes believe you can learn to swim by being pushed into the deep end. It can be. I think you learn more from mistakes than you ever do from things that go well. The deepest lessons I ever learned were things I deeply regret doing. That's why I hate grades. Because people want A's, right? And it's like, but sometimes I should give you something that you're destined to fail at. Because in the struggle is where you learn kind of who you are. But people are like, but I only got 3rd of them right. But learning what you didn't do is important. If you knew how to do it all, then there's no learning. Keep going. Question number 1, why is this your top value? Question 2, how does it manifest in your life today? Nobody will read this but you. And number 3 is which object in your box shows it and how, or if it didn't, come up with one that does. You guys know Mr. Pruitt, his birthday's tomorrow, so pass over on your way out of the building. He hates birthdays. Birthday's a reminder of your mortality. Turned 50 this year. That was a big one for me. It's the first birthday where I really felt I got fewer ahead of me than I have behind me, for sure. Because I don't want to be 100. You guys want to be 34? I'll give you a little sociological phenomenon that's real. When do you think your life will be settled? Like, and you'll be living the life when is the next phase of your life that you'll be fully out of? And I'll give you the answer. The answer, most people say 15 years older than they are, whether you're 20 or 70. Like a 70-year-old will be like, well, when I'm 85, that'll be like that new phase that I'm not a part of, When you're 20, most people say like, oh, by the time I'm 35, I will have figured it out, So most people, it doesn't matter how old you are. People have the ability to conceive of their life only for about 15 years, no matter how old they are. That's what sociologists tell us. We good? All right, here we go. Your personal statement essay will look at the core values you possess. Okay, and guess what? That's the second thing the essay needs. I'm going to tell you 4 things your personal statement essay needs. Number 1 is vulnerability. And that doesn't mean you're admitting you make mistakes. Vulnerability doesn't mean that. It just means you're willing to go out there and say something that's personal. Number 2 is values. Your personal statement essay has to be something on this why level. It can't just be about the time that you didn't make JV soccer. Okay? Whoop-de-doo. Okay? It has to ultimately tell me something about your perseverance, or I don't know what it was. Okay? So 2 things, vulnerability and values. We'll do the other 2 next week. Next. Now we're going to actually look at the personal statement prompts. So there are 7 personal statement prompts, and you have to select one of them, and you have to write on them. They are. It says there are 6 prompts, but there's a hidden 7th one. Okay, these are all the prompts found on the Common App, and I don't know what your status is on choosing to attend college or not. But if you are, many colleges wish you to fill out what's called the Common App. Some of you have already maybe looked at this. And ultimately, you click on first-time students, and then they tell you the essay prompts. But if we go to first-year essay prompts, like these are the prompts for this year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then there's this 7th one, which is write any essay in the world. So the 7th is literally write anything, okay? So that's what's nice about the personal essay, is you can write about whatever the heck you want. So if we go back here to the prompts, you're not going to have to pick one of these yet. What I actually want you to do is kind of think about what you want to write about, then apply what you want to write about to the prompt, as opposed to look at the prompt and come up with something to say. Think about what you want to say, then figure out which prompt meant, because I guarantee you one of the prompts will work. For now, take a look at the choices. So here they are. percolate these in the back of your mind. And I'm going to move to this screen because some of the words are blue. So, personal statement prompts. You have to write 650 words. That's about 2 pages on one of these things. Number 1, some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent so meaningful, that's the part that matters, that they believe a picture of them would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, tell your story. So, what is that thing that is you? What is the essence of you? Number 2, the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? So this one is a moment in time. Number 3, reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking, and what was the outcome? And that could be an internal belief or idea or an external one. This is another moment in time. So this is a quality, this is a moment in time, this is a moment in time. Number 4, describe a problem you have solved or a problem you'd like to solve. It can be an intellectual challenge, a research query, an ethical dilemma, anything of personal importance, no matter the scale. Explain the significance of the problem to you and what steps you took or could take to identify a solution. Okay, so this is sort of the problem solution or the query question. Number 5, discussion, this is so broad. Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth or a new understanding of yourself or others. So this is the change essay, where it was something that happened that something shifted in your life and you grew from that moment. And then finally, describe a topic or idea or concept, I like this one, that you find so engaging that you lose all track of time. Okay, why is it so captivating? And who do you turn to or what do you turn to learn more? You know, I Google it. No, I watch a series of YouTube videos. Like and subscribe right here. And then there's the open one, which is literally submit an essay. So what's kind of challenging about the personal statement essay is it is on the subject you know more of than anything else in the world, which is yourself. You can write about it in any way you want. And because of the broadness of this, some students will become paralyzed by writing this. If you don't know what to do, I'm going to offer this next week when some of you are stumped. I'm going to say, tell me why one of those objects is in your essence box. So at least you have something. At least it's a starting point. Comments, questions? Okie dokie, artichokes. So your work today. You're going to look at 4 successful personal statement prompts. Now, these are not college application essays. They are personal statements, which some people use to apply for graduate work or a job. Like when some companies, when you want to be hired, they'll say, "What is your personal statement?" Or they'll say, "Let's go out and have a drink, and I just want you to tell me a little bit about yourself." You know, and this idea of like somebody wanting to get to know you through your personal statement is absolutely appropriate. So we're going to apply this 3-step approach of what, how, and why for these pieces. So we're going to look at what they say, but then we're going to look at how did the person choose to say that, and then why. I'll talk to you a little bit about why I think I got into William & Mary. William & Mary is the 2nd oldest institution in the United States. When I graduated from high school, Columbine High School, all I wanted to do was leave, okay? Because I lived down on Pierce, across from the Dairy Queen. And all I wanted to do was leave. Things were different when I was younger. There was never a question, never, of if I would attend college. It was always where. Because college was so much more affordable, and it was sort of a line of like what was expected. My sister went, no big deal. I applied to exactly 2 schools, okay? They were both in California because I just wanted to leave. And I can tell you more about that later. So I got into those schools, and then after a year, I said, I hate school. I'm going to quit. I have no desire, no ambition, no nothing in my life, okay? After graduating, I became a waiter for lots of years because I didn't want to do anything. But when I decided to transfer, I had to transfer into the College of William & Mary. And the College of William & Mary in Virginia is, like I said, is the 2nd oldest institution in the United States. It has the lowest acceptance rate of any school in the nation. Okay. And that's because it's public. And because they call it the public Ivy. Thomas Jefferson went there. Okay. And so did I. Okay. Pretty impressive, right? But because it's a public school in Virginia, pretty much everybody in Virginia just applies because it's super cheap. But I have no idea why they let me in. because I knew a lot smarter people than I was. But I think they let me in because of my college application essay. Because they said, I think I want to get to know this. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I did last year. And I think 100% it was how I chose to write it that got me in the door. I really do. Because when I got there, I was like, oh my God, all these people are way smarter than me. Whoops. Okay. But I took a risk on how I introduced myself to a bunch of strangers. Why? Why are these a powerful personal statements? We're going to look at those three things. So here we go. On your computer, if you want to. Oh, wait. Yeah. Well, here's the assignment. Then we'll come back to this. You're going to have to do 4 essays. We're going to do one together. You're going to read it. Okay. You're going to annotate it. And the way you're going to annotate it is on Google Docs. You're going to highlight a minimum of 5 things and then put a comment in the comment box. And don't let the comment be something like, this is neat. Just say something about what, how, or why. Say, oh, this essay, interesting. I think this essay is interesting because at this point in the paragraph, the author isn't even using sentences. There's just a bunch of single words here, which if you wrote a bunch of single words in an essay in my class, I'd probably say these are not sentences. Or you could make a comment about what. You could say, I find the subject matter of this essay to be cryptic and mysterious, or whatever. Okay. So you're going to do 5 comments per essay. Comments have to be complete, and you do that it's annotated in Google Classroom. Oh yeah, because in Google Classroom is the document, which I believe for you opens up Google Docs, but you're still kind of in Classroom because you can hit that submit button. Then at the end of each essay, there's a chart that you need to fill out. I'm going to show that to you. And then next week when you show up, next Thursday, and next Wednesday online, you need to be prepared to talk about what you saw with other people, okay? So, and make sure you submit this work on Google Classroom. Yeah, and this work is due September 16th by 7:35 in the morning, which is really far away. So you could do one of them in class today. We'll do it together. And then you get whatever time is left today, which is till 11:41, which will be very little time. Well, maybe 10 minutes. And then, so if you want to get this out of the way today, you'll have 0 homework all of next week until Wednesday. It's up to you. Otherwise, make sure it's done by 7:35 in the morning. Okie dokie, artichokes. Think about the essay prompts, keep the values exercise sheet, and do that essays. Okay, so here are the essays. Where are the essays? Here are the essays. So in Google Classroom, Classroom, English 4, the assignment is, what is it? Here it is, personal statement essay. Personal statement essay. Is that what I do? View assignment? Yeah. Instructions. Yeah, here they are. So you can do this on your computer right now if you want, because you have it. Okay. If you don't, I'll blow it up for you right here. Okay. So how do we do this? Is that right? Yeah. So on here you can see the personal statement essays. And yours doesn't look like this though, right? Don't you have a little button up here that says like turn in though, right? Is that the difference between me and you? You got to help me out. You're nodding, is that right? What was your name again? Yeah, I've asked you that twice, right? What's your name again? Peter? Yeah. Maybe you should swap it out, right? Okay, personal statement. There are 4 essays here. One is called 12. And so there's the essay. It's about 650 words. You can actually highlight and see how many words it is. And then at the end, there's this little box. And you write where it says your thoughts here. So after you read 12, you summarize what it's about. Basically, what is the core of the essay? You would say, oh, this is an essay about blah, blah, blah. And then you would say it involved this like 2 to 3 sentence summary for the kid who doesn't want to read it. Okay? How? How was the essay written? That's where you consider the essayist and the choices he or she made. And you can say, oh, well, this one was interesting because it did X, Y, or Z. If what is the story, then this is how that person chose to tell the story. And then finally, why? Why is this thing bigger? Why does it show values? Why does it show essence? Why does it tap into the human idea of the world? Okay. So the first essay is called 12. The second essay is called Flying. The third essay is called Poop, Animals, and the Environment. And the fourth essay is called Little Porch and a Dog. Okay, you have exactly one choice. 1, 2, 3, or 4. We're going to do one in class. Should we do 12, Flying, Poop, or Porch and Dog? On the count of 3, put a finger up in the air. 12, Flying, Poop, and Little Porch and Dog. Ready? Raise your hand. Go. Which one are we going to do? We got a 4 and a, just commit now. 4 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 4 and 2, and 4, and 1. I think 4 is win. Here we go. We're going to do the fourth one, which is personal statement number 11, which is porch and the dog. Right now, while we're doing this, you could annotate as we go, on the Google Classroom, and ultimately, we'll go from there. Okay? So your homework is to do 4 stories. We're going to do one right now together, and off we go. Okay? You guys at home, if you want to play along, here we go. Little porch and a dog. By the way, your assignment is going to be to write a 450 to 650 word piece. This one is, where is it? Tools, word count. This is 487. This one's kind of on the low end, okay? Except for this one is twice, it's in here twice. Because it's in Spanish. So that's automatically a how. How is this person telling his or her story? This person is telling his or her story in 2 languages. Okay? What value might that show that this person possesses? Yes?
That they maybe traveled a lot, or they're part of multiple cultures.
Awesome. I got to tell you, you only get one chance to make a first impression. You open that personal statement for me. I look at it. I'm like, whoa. There may be something that jumps out. So maybe this is automatically we can infer something. Here we go. Little porch and a dog. It was the first Sunday of April. My siblings and I were sitting at the dinner table, giggling and spelling out words in our alphabet soup. The phone rang and my mother answered. It was my father. He was calling from prison in Oregon. My father had been stopped by immigration on his way to Yakima, Washington, where he'd gone in search of work. My friend lives in Yakima. He wanted to fulfill a promise he'd made to my family of owning our own house with a nice little porch and a dog. Fortunately, my father was bailed out of prison by a family friend in Yakima. Unfortunately, though, most of our life saving was spent on his bail. We moved into a rented house, and though we did have a porch, it wasn't ours. My father went from being a costurero, sewing worker, to being a water filter salesman, mosaic tile maker, lemon deliverer, and butcher. Money became an issue at home, so I started helping out more. After school, I'd rush home to clean up and make dinner. My parents refused to let me have a real job. So on Saturday afternoons, I'd go to the park with my older brother and collect soda cans. Sundays in summertime were spent cleaning houses with my mother. I worked twice as hard in school. I helped clean my church, joined the choir, and tutored my younger sister in math. As tensions eased at home, I returned to cheerleading, joined a school club called Step Up, and got involved in my school's urban farm, where I learned the value of eating healthy. Slowly, life improved. Then I received some life-changing news. My father's case was still pending, and due to a form he'd signed when he was released in Yakima, it was now not only him that was now in danger of being deported, it was my entire family. My father's lawyer informed me that I'd have to testify in court, and in fact, our stay in the U.S. was now entirely dependent on my testimony. The lawyer had an idea. I had outstanding grades and recommendation letters. If we could show the judge the importance of my family remaining here to support my education, perhaps we had a chance. So I testified. My father won his case and was granted residency. Living in a low-income immigrant household has taught me to appreciate all I've been given. Testifying in court helped me grow as a person, has made me more open-minded and aware of the problems facing my community. And my involvement in the urban farm has led me to consider a career as a nutritionist. Though neither of my parents attended college, they understand that college is a key factor to a bright future and therefore have been very supportive. And though we don't yet have the house with the small portion of the dog, we're still holding out hope. I believe college can help. So then what you guys do is you make some comments as you read it, and then on the bottom we talk about how, what, why. So the one is just summarize the essay. What in a nutshell happens? Once upon a time what, and tell me who, what, when, where. You can do that in this box, right? That just shows me you read it, and you comprehend it. But then how? How was this thing structured? Was it structured on 2 pivotal moments? Was it structured with, the first thing we do is we start with setting in the piece, and we set the time and place. But that setting becomes, I think, an essence object. What is the essence object? A porch. That is a thing which holds value. And what values, what are the larger ideas? What are the ideas that this thing shows? This is a passage about what? It's about hope. Wouldn't you like to meet somebody whose personal statement was, centered on hope? This also is about resilience. It's about overcoming adversity. It's about I don't know, this person is actually showing that he or she is academically strong, whatever. Those are all the ideas. So you make 5 little comments about things you notice, and then you fill out the box 1, 2, 3. Is this clear? Clear as mud? If you guys at home have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, my best thing I can give you is a little bit of time to start on this process. I kind of like it if you can start doing your homework in class, because then the wheel's already going by the time you leave, so that when you go home, you can resume as opposed to getting started from nothing. So I'm going to shut up. Make sense? All right. Thanks, guys. Call me over if you need anything. Oh, the last thing I'll say is in the last 5 minutes of class, the checkout is going to turn on. And so you're going to need to check out of class by answering a question as well. Now, I know you're here, but you're going to do it just to clean up the form. You people at home, you have to do that to prove you're still here. And I think I expressed this. There's nothing, I have no idea what the people did in the intervening time, but there is a check-in and a checkout question. And if you fail to do either of those, I'll mark you as absent in the course, in the day. And that's not good. You don't want to be absent. Got it? Okay, I'll shut up. Sure. Okay. I got it right here. Okay. Who are you again? Yeah. So if I go in here, you're in period 4. Yep, you're there.
Okay.
Okay. So then I'll just go here, and I'll make sure that's in place.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. No worries. That's all I need is for you guys to let me know what I'm missing. Yeah, if you guys have stuff about your grades too while we're sitting here, a real good time to pop over if you're missing anything that seems like basic. I'd really like to make sure we get that cleaned up. Clean. I've put up on the screen again just what you're supposed to do, just as a quick reminder. Okay. I'm gonna just learn names real quick a little bit. So you're Ryan, right? You're Neil. Got that. You already said that. Who's Cody? What was it? Hi, Cody. Sorry. You're Devin. And you're Anthony. And you're Jim. And you're Abby. Did you do that shirt as Anthony?
Yeah, it's it right now.
Sweet. And then. Is that me? Ego. And if I say it wrong, it's not, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Yeah. My name starts with an E too, but it makes an H on the head. As opposed to E. Maybe I should do that. I thought you were right. You okay? Well, you have an I at the beginning of your name. What if it's an I?
What if we go what?
An I. That's the other sound I make. See? No, it's not always clear. So guinea pigs in the room, I think the check out question would be turning on at some point near the end. It's not such a big deal if you're here, because I know you're here, but at home, it's the last 5 minutes of class and the 8 minutes of the passing period. And it's supposed to turn on at 11:36, which it is, but sometimes it takes a moment. You would think computers just would, you would think time would be like the computer's easiest thing, okay? But for some reason,
Not all of the clocks are things.
But it like on Google Classroom it shows me that it's 11:37 right now, but it still doesn't like if I post an assignment right now, it'll post it at 11:37, but it doesn't turn on the 11:36 things up. Sometimes it turns it on early. Oh, and I think I explained this too. I keep interrupting you. I think I explained that if you're ever absent and you wanted to watch the YouTube live, like I think it's there, but it's like a 4-hour stream because I started at like 10:30 and I turned it off at like 1:30. I guess that's a 3-hour stream. You just have to find your class in there. And I kind of say the same thing to both classes, so I'm not even sure you have to be in this class because I teach the same thing next hour. The jokes usually are better first time, so. Yeah, actually, better is the wrong word. They're never that. Be honest, so that thing showed up, the checkout thing showed up then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. appreciate you being here, guys. Please have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. It's Friday, isn't it? Thank goodness. That was the longest short week. Thank you. Right. Go away, virus. Be gone, virus. Thank you. Okay, nice to meet you in person.
It's nice to meet you.
Anthony, can you not bring food in the future?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to do that, because that's not just even the class thing, it's like a health, dental health thing. I apologize.
Need to come down and see.
So the salami is too powerful.
I don't know. I live by the rules that are given to me. I have mostly freedom in my life, so I can live by a couple rules. Have a good day, go smoke.
Specific form of advice, but okay.
You in here? You should do a lap. You can be in here, but all the desks are wet, so you can leave your stuff if you want. You want to do a lap? I think you should walk. You should get blood moving, right? You want to leave your stuff? Go do a lap. Go adventure a little bit, or you can stay here, but you have to wait 5 minutes for the desks to desanitize or whatever it is that they do.
We don't have a seating chart.
Well, you do not have a seating chart. I'm not really into those things.
All right.
I mean, I like them for efficiency. However, I don't. 11:16.
Guess what I learned last hour, the hour before last?
In film studies?
Yeah. That YouTube is serious about their policies.
Did they shut you down?
They shut me down in the middle of that stream and then sent me a warning.
Nice.
So
What were you showing? Modern Times?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna have
But
to find.
they could tell I was showing a streamed.
Well, and why do we find that amazing? I mean, it's all bits and bytes and data and algorithms.
Well,
you
I
know?
find it amazing because of so much that's on YouTube that should be censored and isn't.
But YouTube isn't the person that's creating the rule. YouTube has been approached by, I'm sure, whoever owns Modern Times, because
This is the Criterion Collection.
I listened to a podcast from I think it's Sony Music, and Sony Music decided at some point, look, we'd rather have the music out there for free on YouTube to promote concert sales and other things than shut them all down.
Yeah.
But it depends on the label. So I think they don't do copyright infringement unless somebody who owns the copyright has told them to start enforcing it.
Yeah, you're right. It's I appealed it.
That's so funny.
I sent in an
Educational
appeal.
purpose?
I told them what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and I'd be happy to delete it at the end of each class.
Yep.
And then you're
Nice.
right.
See what they say. That's kind of fun. Until they shut your entire Google account down.
That's what they said. This is
Oh, no,
since
that's
this
it.
is your first warning, but here's what will happen next.
And it's in Google Classroom. Oh, we're laughing. Hi, guys at home. If you're at home, welcome. If you're at home and you want to chat in the corner down there, you can, unless your computer won't let you, and that's okay too. Hello, everybody. We got about 2 more minutes before we can sit down. Otherwise, you'll be, I don't know what'll happen. I think you'll probably have some sort of disgusting reaction, I think. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the school. Yeah, maybe like another minute or so. And then if it's still wet in a minute and you want to dry it off, there's some paper towels up there. You can certainly use to do that sort of thing. I'm gonna hear about that. I don't know what that means.
Reason I'm working on like this 5 assignments on this. I'm like
Who are you?
working on it. Trent.
What?
Bronco.
Oh yeah, hey, well, I thought you were a remote human.
They changed it to 100. I signed up for hybrid, and they put me in remote, and my count's like.
Oh, no, never mind. You have a parentheses behind your name, and most of the parentheses I have behind names say remote, but yours says trans. Okay. Yeah, I want to talk to everybody about kind of where we're at, and then if you have things that you feel like you need addressed, we'll deal with
Well,
them.
I'll just, not an excuse, I'm just saying like I've been busy working. But schedules are cleared up now, so that's good.
Okay, so that's done. This goes here. If your desk is wet and you don't like that, there's paper towels up there, no worries. Okay, did that. And then I send this to him, cha-ching. And then I go like this, and I change this. I have a lot of things I need to think about. Is there any way, if you're in the back corner, sorry, is there any way you can find another chair? Yep. Because I think we decided that's the best place for our service animal is back there. Thank you so much. What's your name, the person that's moving?
I'm Wes.
Hi, Wes, thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem.
That was so cool.
Jing is here, and Abby was here, and Devin was here, and Russ was here, and Rivers was here, Yana was here, all the people are here. No, you go check.
That's a serious question.
Hey, cigar you like? Welcome, thanks for coming. Moore wasn't here.
I see it's really fun.
Sweet.
What is she for? Oh, that's cool. I just didn't know if like you were like under attack or something, like she killed someone.
Oh, no.
No, like you
No,
see that? Those German shepherds, like
They're geniuses. They're geniuses what they know that we don't know.
Ainsley Minor.
My wife is a fourth grade, and she had a fourth grader with that. She had a fourth grade person all year, last year. But the fourth grader all the time. What was, is it her?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Like,
Libby. So we have a new classmate, Libby. So what I do in my class generally is I have a student of the week. But I'm pretty sure our student of the week will always be Libby, okay? Forever, okay? None of you will ever win. Okay? Although this is pretty good. Not bad. Okay, I did that. Oh, so what you guys are going to notice is I speak to myself a lot, kind of mumbling. And if you're on YouTube Live, I'm actually broadcasting to the world right now while I'm mumbling, okay? Hi, welcome, come on in. So with this kid here, which hour am I? Well, that's 3:06.
I think you need to know.
3 or 4 more, that's what I need. Oh, he wasn't here. If I go here.
Can't be changing tires.
Oh dear.
I'm coming with Trey.
Anyone when I'm out of food. I want a Marine logo like that.
Hey, welcome to English class. Thanks for coming. Thanks for making English a part of your day. Okay, so let me do this. Sorry, talking to myself again. Welcome. Thanks for coming. My name is Mr. Friesen. I'll be your teacher for the day. You'll kind of get used to me. Ironically, you'll barely get used to me before we never see each other again. Usually, you will have seen me about 13 times after about 4 weeks of the school, 1 month, which would have been now, because it's what, September 11th, and we would have started on August like 12th or whatever. So by the time you get used to me, I think we're gone. I don't know. I have no idea. But good morning. Thanks for coming. Thanks for making English a part of your day. I've started class the exact same way every day, and so that's where I'm at. Are you coming in here? Nice. Nice. I should have taken attendance as you walked in, but that's okay. I'm learning. All right, here we go. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, yeah, by the way, I start every class the exact same way. I say, good morning, thanks for coming, thanks for making English part of your day. My name is Mr. Friesen, I'll be your teacher for the day. And then I always read a poem. And at the end of the poem, your job is to do what all of our jobs are in school and in life, which is pretend we're smarter than we are, okay? So just like you're given a fine wine or go to the opera and somebody's like, what do you think? And you have no idea what to say. You just go, And you can even do that, like, when somebody shows you, like, how they've, switched out the plugs on their ATV. You're like, oh, look what I did there. And you go, It always makes you sound like you're contemplating as opposed to you don't know what's going on. Here we go. Today we have a poem by Ron Kirchie, and it's called, Do You Have Any Advice for Those of Us Just Starting Out? And it goes just like this. Give up sitting dutifully at your desk. Leave your house or apartment. Go out into the world. It's all right to carry a notebook, but a cheap one is best, with pages the color of weak tea and on the front a kitten or a spaceship. Avoid any enclosed space where more than 3 people are wearing turtlenecks. Beware any snow-covered chalet with deer tracks across the muffled tennis courts. Not surprisingly, libraries are a good place to write, and the perfect place in the library is near an aisle where a child a year or 2 old is playing as his mother browses the ranks of the dead. Often he will pull books from the bottom shelf. The title, the author's name, the brooding photo on the flap mean nothing. Red book on black, gray book on brown, he builds a tower. And the higher it gets, the wider he grins. You who ask for advice, listen. When the tower falls, be like that child. Laugh so loud, everybody in the world frowns and says, shh, and start again. And you say, nicely done. So all we're going to do today is welcome. First thing, I should probably take attendance. So if you guys could quickly say who you are in the room. If you're at home, we'll talk a little bit about how you say who you are later. But if you're in the room, that's great. So I would turn to this page. It's so complicated for me to take attendance. It's just insane. In order to take attendance, oh my gosh, it's really hard. I have so many pieces of paper. Here we go. Who are you? Zoe Sandoval, nice to meet you in human form. Isn't it weird? Like, this is Friday. It's going to be afternoon in the middle of September, and this is the first day of school, which is kind of weird. Hi. Ray. Snell? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have Ray and Renee. My bad. And they're both RSs. Thanks, Ray. Rockstar. Hi. Renee. There we go. And I'm not great at names. A lot of times I make little mnemonics for myself. I do like RSs, but now I have 2 RSs. They're both sitting in the exact same place, which is kind of weird for me. I also do seating charts, but the problem is you guys are here with other people who aren't here. I also, look at faces, and I have half of your faces. So whatever. If I mispronounce your name or if I don't know who you are, don't take it personally, okay? You can not know I am either. That's fine. How about, hi.
Ian's there.
Hi, Ian. Welcome. Thank you. And, we already did you. Hi.
Christian Yuri.
Hi, Christian Yuri. Welcome. Thank you. And
Wesley Saul.
we already did that. Wesley Saul. Very nice. Is it Wesley or Wes or either?
Either.
Okay, because I'll leave them both out there. Hi. Trent Von Felt. Very nice. And sorry, hi back there. Owen Schumacher?
Yep.
Okay. And then Aiden, nice. And yeah, remember that. And Will, and we're going to do Will, not William? All right, thanks. And if I screw that up, you just let me know. Okay, so, and then in theory, I have people that are in this part of the alphabet, but they're at home because they're remote. And then I also have people who were here yesterday, but they're remote because they're a hybrid today or whatever, non-hybrid home. And then I also have I have 4 different kinds of people. I have the A through L here, the A through L at home, the M through Z here, the M through Z at home. Interesting. I have something written in my hand. You ever find things written on your hand? You're like, what was that? And you're like, oh, and then you panic because you got to get the baby out of the car because you left it. No? Not that one. Okay, not yet. Okay. Yeah. At least it's cooler today, so it's not bad.
I want this to sound weird. Do you live in Leewood?
Do I live in Leewood? I actually live behind the Walgreens, and I walk my dog through Leewood. So you saw me walking my dog.
I go to hang out with my friends.
Yeah. Where?
I drive on Weaver and I
Yes.
see you walking down.
Yes, and I think I had this conversation maybe yesterday. Maybe you heard it when I was talking about things I was grateful for. And one thing I do is I walk my dog almost every day.
Yeah.
And this poor dog didn't get walked for like the first 8 years of its life. And I think it felt like, hey, this is what life is. And now all of a sudden it's like getting walked. It kind of likes it, but I have to.
I don't want to say hi.
No, I don't. Yeah, and I don't think we should, Okay, we don't have that kind of relationship, And if you see me, I still remember when I was in high school and I saw one of my teachers, Mr. Johnson. I saw him in the Target. And I walked by him, and I purposely didn't look at him, and he just looks at me, and he's like, well, you look stern. And that's what he said to me, okay? And I don't want him to think, I want people to think that I live in that room back there. I've got a little hammock and a little portalette in there, and I just never leave this building. But it's not true. It's not true. I went to Florida. I'm going to Florida twice this year. Anybody else going to Florida twice this year? No. I believe in going to Florida as often as possible. I believe in watching water as often as possible. My favorite things in the world are My favorite things in the world are one, the show Love on the Spectrum. Oh my God, I loved that show. I watched that this week. Anybody watch that? Oh my God, I loved it so much. It's a 5-episode miniseries on Netflix. It's about people who have autism or Asperger's. And I'm not, I'm by no means ever think that I'm insulting things. My child was evaluated for being on the spectrum. I have lots of connections with people with health issues. But when I watch the people with Asperger's or autism, I often see myself in them. So they would say things like, there are 3 things that are important to me. The first thing I enjoy is sitting on a deck with a margarita where I can see water moving. And preferably that's water on the ocean, but sometimes it's a creek going through Beaver Creek or the Fraser Valley. That's one of my 3 favorite things. Okay. What else do I enjoy? Robot vacuums. Were you guys in the class already talking about robot vacuums?
Your dogs.
Oh, I heard it on the live stream.
Yeah, it's right here. The robot vacuum is right here. Do you have robot vacuums? You have one? I have 4 at my house, and then I have 1 here. So I have 5.
You should bring 2, and then we put the.
They're so expensive too.
Wait, Mr. Friesen, you should bring another one.
Nice. And they bump into each other,
Yeah.
but they just do their job. The same company that makes these, they make the same company that makes these, where they develop the technology. Well, one of the technologies they use is robots that find mines on battlefields. During like Desert Storm, they developed the technology to discover mines. So the same thing that's finding like little pieces of spiral notebook paper in this room right now are there. And it's so fast. Oh, Libby is not happy. Sorry, Libby. Oh my God. Oh, I totally forgot about Libby.
Bro,
How can I forget our student of the week?
That dog's got
That is a well-trained dog. You know what? It'd be probably good to have because there are robot vacuums in the world and we need to get used to that. Anyway. No, my house is a multiple level house. And so like you come in, then you go take 3 steps up to the dining room and then you take 16 steps up to upstairs. So you have to have one on every level of your house, of course. But they're going off right now. They go off at 11:30 in the morning. So right now my house is becoming clean and then I come home to a clean house every single day. It's wonderful. Okay, that's the second thing I like. Well, whatever. Nobody cares about me. Okay, so here what we're going to do is, okay, why was I talking about water, Florida? It's back in track. I don't remember. Here we go. Today what we're going to do is this. I will always, now you guys have to let me know what it's like to be home versus here. I can't see what you see on YouTube Live. I do see that 8 people are watching, but I don't know who. I also see, and they're not even watching, their computer is on right now. I can't see what you see on Google Classroom because I'm the teacher. So sometimes I'm not sure. Like I learned yesterday for the first time that when you open a Google Doc inside Google Classroom, there's a little button up there that says like turn in or something. I'd never seen that before. So you guys need to let me know your experience. But I will tell you this, I will try very hard to put a slideshow every day we meet, whether you're in this building or not. And in theory, the 3rd slide of that slideshow will always be what I think we did on that day or are doing. Now, whether this makes sense to you or not, that's kind of, that's something you and I can work through. And then the last slide will always be what I think you need to do for the next time, okay? I had somebody 2 days ago say they were uncertain what we were doing. And let me know, but I'll always try to do this. So today, I welcome you, I read a poem, remember that, and then I do the agenda. I'm going to tell you a little bit about grades in this class. We're going to talk about the Essence object box thing that in theory you did at home yesterday. We're going to do a values exercise, and then we're going to actually look at the personal statement essay that you have to write by actually looking at the prompts and some model essays. And your homework is going to involve looking at model essays. This week, we're going to look at how we're going to write this thing, and then next week we actually write it. Hi.
Are you reading any books?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be reading in this class. I know for a fact we'll be reading The Handmaid's Tale, and we're going to read some of the Odyssey. But I also don't know how time works. Like, I have never taught in this format before, so I'm kind of nervous. But we don't even have the Handmaid's Tale books because they're on order right now. So we're starting with stuff that's not books. Good point. Nice. Here we go. Sorry. And you'll see me do this all year long, either on YouTube. Well, you won't see that because I leave the screen. I think I told you this yesterday. Well, actually, I told the people here yesterday. I believe we are in the hybrid model because of this, because there is the symposium model of the ancient Greeks had the idea that we came together to have public discussions of things. And then somehow that became how we educated people. And so the idea that humans together in a room can do things that are important. So I will spend 80% of my energy with the people in the room, which sucks if you're online, okay? Because you see me walk away and then I go sit in the back room and you're not sure what's going on. But that's just how it is. The only thing worse than doing YouTube Live right now, in my opinion, would be doing Zoom right now for me. Because Zoom, I believe, it's just awkward for all of us and it sucks up more bandwidth, you know? So what was it like to do YouTube Live yesterday? Anybody? I disappear a lot from the screen. I know that. Anything else? What were your impressions of YouTube Live? Not the most engaging thing, was it?
It was better than Zoom.
Better than Zoom? And you can also, like, there's times, I think, when you can kind of zone out because you know, I hope you can see this slideshow, right? You can open this on your own, right? So that looks clear. I don't know. I think we're just doing the best we can, right? And that's all I can hope to do. All right. So, if you see something, like if you have another teacher that doesn't, where's the jacket from? 2003. Yeah? What was going on in 2003? Okay. You guys like my new shirt? Under Armour, pretty nice. Just got this. What was I talking about? You guys, if you have something that they do in your other classes, you're like, that was the greatest thing ever. Let me know. If you find something that I said was going to work and it didn't, let me know. Right now, here's how you talk to me. If you're at home, you have 3 ways to talk to me. One is to chat in the box on YouTube Live right here. You guys want to be on YouTube Live? You can be famous. Just a minute. Okay, wave to the crowd, everybody. Come on, make them feel like they're here. Okay, yay. See? Oh, come on. It's not on you? Yeah. Oh, there, now it is. Now you can wave. Everybody wave. See? There you are. Yay. See, we're bridging the gap. 3 places you can communicate with me live. One is in the chat box right here. And last class, I had 4 people just chatting away. Whatever. 2 is right here. I have the Google Classroom open. And if you put something in the comments, it refreshes here periodically. The 3rd place is right here. I have Group Me up. And if you want to say something in the Group Me, it pops up right now too, if you want to. Those would be ways you could communicate while class is going on. I try really hard to respond to your emails if I'm sitting at my desk, which means during access times, like during my planning, during off hours. I'm not going to respond to your email at 9:36 at night. Okay, I just can't do it. We're all done at 1:04. Try to work between 1:04 and 3. Try to make sure you're cool. I probably won't respond to you over the weekends. And I'm not saying I don't want to. I just have to set boundaries for myself. The first 3 weeks of online last spring, I was literally working from 6 in the morning till 10 at night every single weekday and then on all the weekends. And it just, at some point I had to carve out time to walk my dog. Okay. So I will respond to you. I guarantee you. I bet some of you already emailed me and I responded pretty quick when you comment. The last thing is on this monitor, I actually have that monitor. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 monitors trying to do something silly, which is just talk to you in person. Okay. Here we go. Come on. Is this going to work? No, it doesn't work. Okay. The reason is because it's talking to this monitor right now and not this monitor. There we go. Check your grades. I said this last week. I'll say it again. I spent all my time prepping for class, making Google slideshows and presentations and YouTube Live links and all that nonsense. I couldn't look at the stuff you wrote in the first week. It just sat there. Okay, but now I'm starting to look at things and starting to make some comments and enter grades. Look at the grade book. Keep checking it, okay? A blank assignment in Infinite Campus just means I haven't scored it yet. Blank is fine, okay? You should be concerned if it says missing and you turned it in or you want to turn it in. That's what, because those are automatically a 0 in the grade book, okay? If it's late, I don't know it's late unless you tell me sometimes. Okay, let me rephrase this. If I have not yet scored it, it can come in late. But if I've already scored something, if it's late, it's already done. I'm not thinking about it anymore. So if you're going to turn in something late, like the Essence object box thing, I already scored those. If you're going to turn that in late, you might send me a little note saying, I just submitted this. You might fill out the late form. You might do something because then I know to go look for it. Okay? Yes, sir. Okay, but you're going to have to send me something that shows me that. Does that make sense? Because what you do is when you send me that, my Microsoft Outlook, Ms. Tennyson helped me with this. I actually have a bunch of rules now. Because 3 days ago, I had 77 emails come to me during just like periods 5 and 7. And 77 emails. But now what happens is anything that has the word late just slams into a folder called late. And then I just whip through that folder really quick saying, oh, yeah, got it, whatever. Okay, so do that. Last thing, which is the bummer, which is we have agreed with Jeffco Health, with the state of Colorado, with Jeffco Schools, Columbine High School, we have agreed that we are doing what's called hybrid learning. And hybrid learning is we are online and live at the same time. And we're doing synchronous learning. So you need to be here. Right now you're here because you're in this room. But if you're at home, I need to know that you're here. If you show up late to my class, you're going to be tardy. If you show up late online, you're going to be tardy. And in my class, because of Michelle Garcia, attendance and tardies do affect your grade. Unexcused absences, automatically 30 points off your grade, no matter what. And right now, I think you only have like 50 points. So if you have an unexcused absence in my class, you'll automatically have an F. If you have 7 unexcused absences, either online or in person, automatic failure for the semester. If you're absent from my class, what do? Mom or dad calls you in. That's it. Super simple. Because you're on a trip. Because you have a medical issue. Because you have a migraine and can't get out of bed. Okay? Because grandma died again. Okay? Whatever it is. Ultimately, you're just going to use the room down there. Make sense? You guys at home got it? Okay, like and subscribe. Good. Nice job. Here's the other way that I know you're here. Ready? You fill out the checkout form or the check-in form at the beginning of the period. You guys in the room, I know you're here because I just put a check by your name. So let's practice the home thing. Open up your machine, turn on a phone, go to my classroom, fill out the check-in question. Right now, do it. Right now.
I did it.
Cool. And if you didn't, and the reason is I don't want a missing assignment next to your name because I know you're here and I know it's redundant.
So we still have to do it even if we
Yes, and here's the reason is right now by your name it says missing, and I just want everything clean. Let me show you this. I showed the people this yesterday when they were here. Where did I do this? This. But I think it's more interesting in person. Is this it? Yes. No, this one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So the reason I'm having you do this check-in, if you're at home, you're checking in to prove you're here. And I totally get you could check in and then leave your computer on and, fall asleep, watch Netflix, run a 5K, whatever, okay? But it's my only proof you're here, okay? Got it? Let me show you this real quick. I think you'll be amazed. You guys read 4 pieces last week. Use of force about the spoon and the medicine, right? And the girl about all the rules of this girl and how to do this and that. And the flea, the poem about kind of seducing someone. And then gathering words, which was a person struggling with what to say, and it was said in the laundromat. You read those 4 pieces. And I wanted to know what you thought of 4 pieces. If you were in class, I would have said, here's the 4 pieces. I would have given you the things. I would have had you write on them. We would have talked about it. But we can't do that. So I had you fill out 4 Google Forms. Let me show you what's awesome about that. It's right here. By filling out a Google form, it makes a Google Sheet for me. Okay? And here's how this works. So, for example, Peyton read the use of force, and then this is what she thought about what it was about, and this is what she thought about how it was written, and this is what she thought about like the larger message, and then there's some room over here for some comments, okay? This is what happens on the machine. Ready? Watch this. I have 93 period study students. Here we go. Ready? Watch. Okay. What am I showing you? I'm showing you I value your thoughts, but I don't have a good way to collect them unless everybody kind of plays the game and does it the same way. Because otherwise, all of those individual things, somebody's sending them to me as an attachment on an email, and somebody is sending them to me, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just have to put them in the form that I want. So your attendance, I want you to check in online even if you're here, because then I get a nice little list of who's here. And whether you're here or not, that's cool. But like right now, I still don't know your names, and I'd be like, oh, is Jeremy here? Was Jeremy that mask, or was Jeremy that mask? Okay, unless you want to put your name on your mask. That's it. That's what we should do. We should put our name here. Okay. We have a big board in the English office where we've written down the day we think we're done going to hybrid school. Okay. We have bets right now. Okay. Just like when people are doing like bets for like, the day one of their colleagues the baby's going to be born or whatever. So we have a big calendar, you write your name, you put your $20 in, and whatever day we go to hybrid. My wife teaches in Littleton Public School. Powell Elementary has a case. Franklin Elementary has a case. Runyon Elementary has a case. Heritage High School's already shut down. Dakota Ridge has a case. Columbine has a case, but that person apparently had never been in the building, so that's there. You guys know that Columbine had a case, right? Your parents got a letter to that effect 2 nights ago. Okay. But the Columbine person had never been in the building, so we think we're okay. But bottom line is, we don't make the rules. The health department does. So I look forward to the day you don't have this on your face, right?
That's gonna be for.
You think years?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
I think it's just another flu.
Yeah, who knows? I will say this. We used to see people in certain countries that wore these outside. I do think there won't be a stigma anymore in this country that if you're feeling a little iffy, that if you wore this in the store, somebody wouldn't say like, what are you doing? They'd be like, oh, you might actually feel like you're protecting other people because you have the sniffles. Like, wouldn't it be nice if you weren't weren't actively infecting people with your gross hands on the shopping carts? Maybe that would be a nice world to live in. If you're a germaphobe right now, it's probably tough to live. Okay, here we go. Stop talking about COVID. God, is it like every conversation for the last 6 months? Let's talk about something better. Let's talk about riding mowers versus lawn mowers. When
they do riding lawnmower races.
I know. How many of you track your steps? Try to get your steps a day. Anybody? No? When I mowed the lawn, I have a tiny house. Guess how far it is to mow my lawn? It's like 0.8 of a mile in just these little circles. 0.8 of a mile. Pretty amazing. Why am I saying that? Here we go. We're done. Let's move on. Let's do actually what we're supposed to do today. Here we go. Boom. Okay. So what you did yesterday. Does anybody have questions, comments about school, life, whatever? Thanks for being here, by the way. And if you're at home, hey, awesome. Like and subscribe, okay? We did this thing called the Essence Object Box. And if you didn't do it yesterday, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Just like if you missed a day of school in the regular world and the teacher just kept going. The Essence Object Box you did yesterday at home, and you submitted it by 7:35 this morning. If you could take a look at your Essence Object list right now. Where is it? It's on a device. What are the requirements for this class? I would think every day you need to have 4 things here. You need to have something to write on, which is paper. You need to have something to write with. You need to have an electronic thing, okay? And you need to have PMA, positive mental attitude, okay? You get those 4 things, I think you'll be okay. If you don't like doing things on your phone, I recommend when do we see each other next? Next Thursday? Oh, dear Lord. I recommend you bring your terrible Chromebook or some other device to class. I'm going to try really hard not to spend our lives looking at screens while we're in here. So everything we do today, you could do on paper if you wanted, and then take a picture of it to upload it. It's your call. All right, here we go. Take a look at your Essence Object list. What is in your box? The word essence, I think we probably should define it. Essence. Essence is either or both the intrinsic nature or indispensable quality of something, especially something abstract that determines its character. Essence is a property or group of properties of something, without which it would not exist or be what it is. So what we're trying to do is get to, in your personal statement, what is your essence? What is the intrinsic nature of you? What is the indispensable quality or qualities of you? What is determining your character? What is in you or a part of you that without it, you wouldn't be you? Okay? So as you survey your essence object box list, what essences are missing? So what are the essential parts of you that are not represented in these boxes? Because, you went through your room and you just gathered things in your room, but you're like, I actually don't have anything in my box that represents one of my essential and fundamental, indispensable, intrinsic qualities. So is every aspect of your personality there? Think more abstractly. Think of qualities not yet represented on the list. Look at the phrases in blue. How could you represent your qualities with an object? So maybe these are not objects you have, because I think most of you put objects you have in the box. Now put objects maybe you don't have that actually show who you are. For example, if you like to keep lists, maybe you put Post-it notes because you're a list maker. Or if you're easily angered, maybe you put lighter fluid in your box. Or if you are good at lots of things, maybe you put a Swiss Army knife. Or if you're sharp, you put an X-Acto knife. So this could be an object that you don't necessarily have in your room, but you're like, this is what it is. So just to illustrate the point, here's one thing I could put in my essence object box that would reflect an essential nature. Let's do something negative first. One of the intrinsic qualities or indispensable things about me is I have a temper. And it's embarrassing. I wish I didn't have it. I think I inherited it from my father. I think I passed it on to one of my children. Okay, I have a temper, and it's awful. It's embarrassing. I think I control it better than I used to, but it is kind of part of who I am. And if you ask my wife to describe 100 things about me, one of them she might say he has a temper. Or if somebody asks me, is that something he has? She'd say, oh yeah. And so what would I put in my box? Well, I'd absolutely put a handful of glass in my box. It's an object I don't have, but it's there. And what would that essential object show? It would show the day that I attended Columbine High School. This was when I was 17 years old. Had a terrible day. Drove home, and I opened the door of my car, and I went boom to the window, the driver's side window, and it shattered into a million pieces. And I was like, oh, that was a really bad idea. And then I had to fess up to my dad that I did that, and blah, 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 So I'm not happy about that, but that is a part of my quality. Another thing about me is I absolutely love to put things in order, okay? And it's a really sick trait I have is I like to do things in order. And so I would maybe put in my essential box, maybe I would put like a bunch of note cards with numbers on them because I would really have to have them in order. And if they weren't in order, I would feel this need to order them. And it makes me very precise in some things I do. It also makes me super annoying. For example, what did I try to do this summer? I tried to watch all the Marvel movies in order. Okay? But then I actually found this list that said, here's every Marvel, not just movie, but every Marvel TV show and movie. And I watched them in order. And I'm on step 47 right now, out of 71. Step 1 is Captain America, the first Avenger. Watched it, check. Step 2 is Agent Carter, season 1. So you have to watch the entire season. Check. Step 3 is Agent Carter, season 2. You have to watch the entire thing. Check. So right now I'm somewhere. I just finished. I interestingly enough finished Black Panther, like right when what's his name, Chadwick Boseman died. And so right now I'm in the middle of step 47, which is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4, episodes 4 through 8. And then after I do that, then I do Luke Cage, season 2, which is like 8 episodes. So, and why do I have to do that? Because it's very important for me to do things in order. And it's the stupidest thing in the world. When I think of the books I could have read, or the gardens I could have done, or the care I could have given to others, it's what I do. Oh, I'll shut up right now. Would you please, in the private comment section for that Google assignment, would you please write down 3 more objects that are, you invent the objects to show me who you are. You don't have to explain why. You could just on there put, putty knife, whatever. You could say swim fins, but they're things you may not own. So under the private comments, write down 3 more objects. It's my understanding that if I receive a work from you and then I return it to you in Google Classroom, you can still make a comment there, and then I can see that you did this. I don't think you can mess with things if you've submitted them and I haven't yet returned them. I don't really know how that works. Does this make sense what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah.
3 more objects. Starting not with the object, but starting with who you are. At your core, what is your essence? I possess unconditional love for those in need. What is an object that shows that? I have an inquisitive mind. What is an object that shows that? I believe in family first. What is an object that shows that? I believe that nature is therapeutic.
Just say why, just the object.
Just the object. That's all there is to it. Super easy. So if you're at home, there's lots of gaps in the class, right? And I wander away for a while and you're just like, whatever. That's how it works. So my watch right now just buzzed that one of you in this room did that, okay? It's you, yeah. Zoe? Who's Zoe? Yeah, see, Zoe just did it because I watched it. I get so many notifications. It's crazy. I get like, Christian submitted this. Zoe submitted this. Your water is flooding in your basement because right now I have a flood meter in my basement that if my basement starts flooding, it goes on my watch. And I go home as fast as possible. 3 times in the last night. 3 times. I was running on the Platte River in March. I was running along the Platte and my watch went, the water meter, the water sensor in your basement is going off right now. So I got my phone out, I called my wife and I said, go to the basement right now. And she said, what? And I said, turn off the water. And she's like, oh my God. I'm like, I know. And the sprinkler system had snapped and filled the window well, and then it was flooding the house. But that's as important as the fact that one of you just submitted a private comment in the classroom. All notifications are equal. Like so-and-so checked in late to class. The Messiah is returning. I am getting all notifications equally. One of those was a joke. We there?
Yeah.
Okay. Comedians say that they would rather play to an empty house, or a heckling house, I should say, than a house full of people that just stare at them. We good?
Did you get one?
I don't know. I got Trent
There you go.
right there, see?
Mm-hmm.
And it's 50 degrees, and we're at 5,575 feet.
You got one of the outdoorsy watches.
I used to have an Apple Watch for like 8. I had the very first one, then I had the second one, but I think the Garmin is better.
Yeah.
Oh, 88 beats per minute right now, and 4,200 steps. Not good,
That's
not
not
good.
good.
4,200 is weak.
Why is your heart beating so fast?
I don't know if you're active, doing things, I don't know.
That's like, yeah, that's not good.
No.
Standing up, walking and walking around the whole thing.
All right, here we go. Next.
Tires? I like that.
Here's what we're doing. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so the purpose of that exercise we just did, which was the object exercise, was, well, it's inherent in this quote by T.S. Eliot, famous playwright and poet. He wrote The Wasteland. He wrote Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. His name anagrams to toilets. T.S. Eliot once said, the only way to express emotion in art is through an objective correlative. What is an objective correlative or correlative? It is an object, a thing in this world to which you can correlate or add to or combine or connect emotion, memory, and complex meaning. So it is a thing that holds meaning. It is a what that contains a why. That's all we do in this class. We look at the things humans produce which hold meaning. So the object becomes more than an object. Every object in your essence object box is an object correlative for some important complex part of you. Survey your list. Does it feel pretty familiar? Well, it should. Your personal statement essay should feel this familiar. So here's what we're going to do. Just to clarify, I'm not saying that any or all of these objects will make it into your personal statement essay, okay? But some of them might. If next week you're totally stuck on what to write about, I'll say pull something out of your object box and write about that. Write about where it came from, what it means, why it's in there. And there's your essay. There's your inspiration. Some of you will write about something completely different, and that's cool too. Chances are good that you'll write about what it represents because ultimately, what it represents is part of the why of who you are, which makes your personal statement personal. The point is, if you have taken what we did yesterday and just now, the object exercise seriously, and you have described a unique set of objects, you have the material, the raw stuff for a compelling personal statement. So all we've done right now is gone to the grocery store and gone to the kitchen and pulled a bunch of stuff out. Now, what are we going to do with the ingredients you've gathered? In fact, you should have material for dozens of personal statements, but we're just going to write one. The question is, which essence or object should you choose, which leads to our next thing, which is called the values exercise. If you are at home, hey, if you're at home, thanks for being here. Like and subscribe. You have this piece of paper, okay? If you don't, it's on the Google Classroom. And here's a piece of paper. I'm sorry. I moved so abruptly. I'll try to move more calmly. Nice. Thank you. No, I thank you. Thank you. It feels so backwards. Normally when I teach, I'm like, do you really need your phone out right now? But then I'm like, yes, you do. You need to have your phone out right now. Here we go. Values exercise. Look through this handout. On this handout are a number of values. These are abstract qualities. Okay? I need you to place a check mark in the box of 10 of these. Your top 10 values. Okay? If you think that there's a value you possess that is not here, you need to write it at the end. You must limit yourself to 10. 10. No more, no fewer. Exactly 10. I'll give you like 2 minutes to do this. So you kind of maybe should scan through it first real quick and then come in, or you can uncheck things if you want. 10 values you possess or you hold dearly, or I'm just going to say they are your values. I always have extra stuff over here. Okay. Okay. Which one? Sweet. Thank you. No, thank you. So that's a little over 2 minutes. Is that enough time? Say yes or no. You need more time, make a noise. Okay, I heard some noises. I'll give you another minute. Okay, that's enough time. Consider each of your essence objects that were in your essence box. So now you have 10 values and 20 items. Do you see a correlation, a connection between the object in your box and what you've checked here? Okay. Number 2, next, I need you to shrink your list. Put a star next to 5 of those 10 that you just put a check by. So you need to take 5 and cut them, and 5 and save them. The 5 you want to save, you put a star by. Put a star by 5 values. You got 30 seconds. I think that's about 30 seconds. Now you're going to shrink it again. You're going to take those 5 and you're going to keep 3. Underline 3. You got 15 seconds to underline 3 of the 5. 2 go away. It's a good way to make decisions in life is to not pick the things you want, but eliminate the things you can. Okay, now you're done. You have to circle 1. One of those 3 that is currently underlined, you need to circle 1. Do it, make a physical connection here. The reason we're doing this by checking and underlining and starring and circling is because it is a commitment. Okay, it's the exact same thing as many groups that work. Groups that involve getting out of an abusive relationship or ending alcohol dependence. Weight loss groups. Ultimately, if you profess out loud that you're going to do something, people tend to do it. I have made it super public that I'm going to run a marathon on January 8th. Okay, it's my big goal in life. And I'd make it so public because when I don't do it, you all can say, oh, there's that guy who doesn't live up to what he says he's going to do. You think if you can make a public commitment, that's it. When they look at the people that traveled into the South during the civil rights era, there were these upper class white people. They went to like Harvard or whatever, and they drove on buses down, and they got beaten and fire hosed and Libby dogs attacking them. And they went and they said, who had the quality of character to travel and go to an unfamiliar environment, put their lives in danger. Some of them lost their lives for strangers. And they said, what did these people have in common? And they said, well, were they smarter? Did they go to these Ivy League schools? Did they have good family upbringing? Let's see if they went to church, and they went and they tried to find what kinds of people did this. And the thing they most had in common is they made a declaration in public that they were going to do it. And once they made that declaration in public that they were going to do it, it changes real. So you've made a personal declaration by actually doing this on the paper. So now we go to the little next step, which is, bonus. Oh yeah, connect with your future. You don't have to do this right now, but I'll show you how. If you picture yourself in 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, doing the job you think you'll love. Okay, what degree field yes? Okay, so you picture yourself doing the job you love. Let's just pretend I should be an astronaut, okay? Take a look at this value list and put a little letter of the first letter of the job you think you want to do for the next, for your life. Your passion, because you have to do something that makes money. And if your passion is to be independently wealthy, because I'm going to own my own business, well then put a little E for entrepreneur. Or if you're like, I totally want to marry rich, I'm a gold digger, then put a little G there, okay? Or I'm going to go find gold in the hills up there, put a little G there, okay? But bottom line is, where do you think you're going to find your life in 5, 10, 20 years? And then put a little thing, and do the things you think that job requires, do they align with the values you hold right now? What qualities would an astronaut have to have? Would they have to have money to do that? Would they have to have financial gain? Would they have to have what? Self-discipline maybe? Or what? What qualities does the job that you want to do require or seem to imbue or embody? And if you check off a bunch of things that are not the same, maybe you're not picking the right job, Or maybe your job will be picked for you like mine was. I never wanted to be a teacher, ever, ever, ever. Ever. Because my wife wouldn't marry a waiter. Well, we've been dating for 5 years. She told me very clearly when we started dating, I do not want to waste my youth. Okay? I only want to date for 5 years. So in 5 years, we will either need to get married or I will need to move on because we all get old. And so, 4 years and 11 and a half months later, I proposed. Okay? She also said, great, we're going to get married. I don't want to be married to a waiter because I was a waiter. And I was a waiter because I had no ambition. Okay? And so she said, well, what do you want to do? I said, nothing. She said, well, I got an education degree. Why don't you go over to CU? Because I was living in Boulder at the time. She said, why don't you go get a master's in education? And I said, okay. So I'm here because my wife wouldn't marry a waiter. Won Teacher of the Year. I'm beloved by some of my students. Been here for 26 years. And what should I be? I don't know. I think I should have been some sort of a designer. Like the idea that everything in the world is designed. Like this desk was designed. and the way these tiles are placed was designed. I should have listened to a podcast called 99 PI, which is the idea that 99% of design you never notice. Like the way that the floor on an airport is designed to move you in a certain direction, or the sounds that they pipe in the airport that are designed to counterbalance the sounds that are naturally there to create whatever feeling or make you buy more pretzels. Yeah. Some people think, well, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We good? Okay, here we go. Take a look at your check start, underline, and circle top value. That one piece, that one value. Now here's the participation part. Take out a blank piece of paper. I don't have a blank piece of paper. There's something you need a blank piece of paper. You have to do this. Ready? Take out a blank piece of paper. Why are we doing this? Because I believe that writing things is a way to commit to things. I totally think that putting something on your phone is okay, but it's also temporary.
Yeah.
Are you guys, is it a waste of paper to do this?
No one's gonna spend 24 hours in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely wonder about, like, my mother-in-law died 2 days before COVID hit. She died maybe a little before that. She died, my mother-in-law died like March 9th or something like that. So she was, thank you so much, and she was dead, and we were gonna have a funeral when COVID hit. So we actually just had her funeral a week ago.
You said that so
What?
she was dead.
Everybody dies. You're gonna die, okay? Everybody dies, okay? Everybody dies, okay? Okay? Turn to somebody in the room and tell them they're gonna die.
Owen's gonna die. Mr. Friesen. So we're doing a fantasy football league,
Yes.
and the punishment, the loser of the league
Yes.
has to spend 24 hours in a Waffle House. The only way they can cut the time is by eating their way out. So one giant waffle equals an hour off. And yes, you think that's not that bad.
No, it's terrible.
When you're sitting.
You remove the W and it becomes Awful House, okay? What does that have to do with the fact you're gonna die, Trent?
Oh, I was saying, and I've been giving him crap because he drafted a terrible team. I said he's gonna
Oh,
die
I
in a
see.
Waffle House.
Speaking of death.
Well, guess what? Next semester we're gonna read Hamlet. Hamlet's all about this.
24 hours in a Waffle House.
Here, look, if you were in my other class, you would love it. Your name's Zoe, right?
Yeah.
My other class, AP English. This is the book we're reading right now. George Washington Crosby began to hallucinate 8 days before he died. You want to know what book we're reading in my class? Here's the plot of my book. Ready? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's the plot of the book I'm reading in the AP English class right now. But Paul Harding signed my book. Okay. Anyway, what am I talking about? Oh, your top value. Okay. Oh, paper. Why do we have paper? One thing I think is the idea that we are impermanent. You're all going to die. Okay. There's 7 billion people on the earth. They're all going to die. What will resonate and remain from you? I always feel so bad about people that live on their phones, and it's cool to live on your phone. But like, if everything you do is electronic, where does that go when you're gone? I don't know if what sense of what do you pass on to the people beyond you? I hope some people are printing out pictures in the real world, because if Google servers crash, I just feel like we might be in danger of losing some of our legacy if we're not careful that we're preserving it in a tangible form. When the machines go, I don't know. Take out a blank piece of paper. By writing this, I think you commit to it more than when you thumb it in. I think you commit to something by writing it. Here we go. Why did you? Oh, this is private writing. I will never read this. All I will do is look and see that you're at least trying. So if you don't want to try, just write, I'm not trying over and over, and give me the illusion. Okay. Number 1, look at the value that you circled, starred, underlined, checked, and whatever. Why? Look at your top value. Why is this your top value? Number 1. Then you're going to answer number 2. Skip a few lines. Leave yourself some room. Number 2 is you're going to say how. How does this value manifest in your life today, this week, this month? How is it present in your life? And then number 3 is what? What is an object in your essence box that shows this value? And if you don't have one, why not? And put one in there. So what is your value? I'm sorry, why did you choose this value? How does it manifest it? And what object is that value? So just write for a little bit. Write complete sentences, write fragments. Just write. Commit to words on paper. And if you don't know what to write, sometimes the words will come by writing. Make present. Manifest means how is it present in your life? So if my value, one of my ultimate value is laughter, how does that manifest? Maybe it's the movies I watch. Maybe it's the fact that I consider teaching somewhat of a stand-up comedy routine every single day. It's a live audience that refuses to laugh. What's your value? And then go from there. Why did you choose it? How is it present? Or how does it make itself known in your life? And what object in your essence box shows it? And if not, and how? How does it show it? The people here yesterday were writing in 4 quadrants right now, and I was just watching them write. Okay? 1, 2, 3 questions.
No, you're good.
Sorry, I move so aggressively. How old is Libby?
She's a year and 2 months.
Year and 2 months.
No, she's probably taller.
So German Shepherd border collie?
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have interrupted. Hold up a finger showing you're answering the first question, the second question, the third question, or a fist if you're totally done. That way I can get a sense where we're at. Oh, looks like we're done. Here we go. A personal statement essay. We'll look at core values you possess or a core value you possess. Paired with vulnerability, that's the second thing this essay needs. I'm going to tell you 4 things that your essay needs to be awesome. First is vulnerability. All that means, that doesn't mean like you're admitting like what you hate about yourself, okay? That's not what that means. Vulnerability just means you're willing to put yourself out there and say something that makes your piece personal, okay? 2 is values. You need to do something that matters, some why. You can't just tell me about not making the JV soccer team, okay? And that was a really important day for me, without getting to why does it show who you are and what you value. Okay, I'll give you the other 2 things next week. Okay, so with vulnerability and a value, and if you don't know what to write next week, you're like, I don't know what to write. I just gave you what you write. Pick your value and pick an essence object and write about that. Tell me the story of how that came to be in your life. Tell me what, why it matters to you. If you don't know what to write next week, there's your essay. But you can write whatever you want, because that's going to lead us to this, which is the actual prompts. So the 6 prompts that there are, you have 6 prompts to choose from, even though there's a hidden 7th. They're all found on this year's Common App. I don't know what you're going to do with your life. I don't know if college is a worthwhile investment for you or for anybody at this point in the life. I know right now I'm kind of glad my daughter's a senior, because if my daughter graduated last year, I think I would be arguing very strongly not to go to college, because I don't think I'd want my daughter to be spending $40,000 or $20,000 or $8,000 a year to get an online education. And so, but then I'd be like, hey, do a gap year and do something. But what the heck are you even going to do? Okay, the world is on this weird hold right now. So I don't know if you're going to go on to college, but if you are, this can be your college application essay. If you don't, maybe someday you'll need it. But guess what? We all need to be able to express who we are to anybody. So this is a great story that you can tell about yourself. And also, I don't know, every now and then, I think we need to assess who we are. And senior year is a great time for you to assess. I tell you right now, the essay I would have written in my senior year is vastly different than the essay I would write today of who I am and what I believe in. For me, my changes all happened in from 20 to 20, probably 20 to 25. All of my changes happened. I'm very much the person I was when I was 27. I'm very much not the person I was when I was 20. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, by the way, Common App. If you are going to apply to college, it might want you to do the Common App. Some of you may have already looked at this website. If you go to the Common App, it'll say application for first-time students, and it'll be like, what are the essay prompts we're going to have to write? And here they are. And these are the prompts up here on this little handout. So the first prompt is, you don't have to pick your prompt yet. Matter of fact, I actually think I want you to write your essay. And then you're going to say which prompt it addresses. Because rather than try to make your essay fit the prompt, you just need to write a great personal statement. Here are the prompts, and I've highlighted some words in blue. Number 1, this is what you can write on next week. Number 1, some people have a background, identity, interest, or talent so meaningful, that they believe a picture of them would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, please share your story. So is there something about you so meaningful that everybody needs to know it? That's pretty broad. Number 2, the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to our later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure, and how did it affect you and what did you learn? So think of a time when an obstacle challenged you, and what does that say about who you are and what you value? Number 3, reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. Your belief, somebody else's belief, your idea. What prompted such thinking, and what was the outcome? So these 2 are like times, a moment where something questioned, challenged, set you back, caused you to fail. This is more like maybe a larger one. Of course, there are moments with your talents, probably. Number 4, describe a problem you have solved or a problem you want to solve. It could be an intellectual challenge, a research query, an ethical dilemma, anything of personal importance, no matter the scale. Explain its significance to you and what steps you took to identify the solution. So come up with that problem that you would like to face, and that could be ending global hunger, or the problem could be small children cannot wash their hands well because they're too short, it sinks. So I invented a product which you attach to the backside of a bathroom door that when you open the door, a step just drops down. And then you fold it back up and you close the door, as opposed to having a little stool that's everywhere. And every family in America needs this. And I went on Shark Tank to promote this. Did you guys see me? I'm making this story up. Okay. Discuss an accomplishment, an event, or a realization that has sparked a period of personal growth for you and a new understanding of yourself or others. What was a moment that changed you? Because you are not who you were, 7 years ago. What changed you? Could be something that happened to you. You caused it to happen. I don't know. And then number 6, describe a topic, idea, or concept you find, this is my favorite one maybe, so engaging that you lose a track of time. Why does it captivate you? What do you do when you want to learn more? I'm fascinated by the notion of time. I have a book right here about time. It's called Longitude. It's about how time was invented in the 1700s. How was time invented? Well, read the book Longitude. But at the end of the day, when we want to not be slave to time, how much are you slave to time in your life? There's a clock everywhere in your life. You are so slave to time. Well, what is something that makes you no longer a slave to that cruel mistress? Okay. What do you do when you want to learn more? Where do you learn? Do you see how everything works for these? And guess what prompt number 7 is? Prompt number 7 is write anything you want. And that's on college application. Write whatever you want. So what is your assignment next year or next week? Write whatever you want, which some people think is overwhelming. Like if I told you, find the 3 references to plants in this poem and tell me what they are, some people would be like, I got that. But ironically, what are you writing about? The thing you know best, which is yourself, which for some of you might feel like the thing you know least in the whole world. All right? So here we go. Today what we're going to do, and I'm going to shut up in a minute because I want you to have time to start this process. Your work today is to look at 4 successful personal statements. And you need to do this by, well, I'll get to the homework in a second, but we're going to look at 4 people who've already written on this. And we're going to apply this 3-step approach, the what, how, why, to each of them. We're going to say, what did this person write about? How did this person choose to craft his or her statement? And why is it worthy? Why does it tap into something in the human condition? Okay? So the 4 models. Your job will be to read each one. You will have to annotate them. The reason we annotate them is because it's a way that you're interacting with them. So for each essay, you need to highlight it in Google Docs and make a comment 5 times. And 5 little comments. So like you could highlight the first paragraph and say, I really liked how this one started. It jarred my attention. And then later in the essay, you could highlight this and say, these 3 words together, I don't understand. And then later in the essay, you could highlight it and say, we are now returning to the first line of the piece so I can see how this person is structuring, like they beat a chord in the first paragraph, and then that chord seems to echo through the piece. You need to do 5 comments. And then at the end, there's this little what, how, why chart. And you just need to fill it out and be prepared to share what you thought next week. So the next time I'll see you guys is next Thursday. But even on Wednesday online, you may need to be doing some sharing, and you submit in Google Classroom. So, and then what does it say here? Your homework. And your homework is basically, think about the essay prompts. Keep that piece of paper you just wrote on, because we're going to do the back of it next week. The back of it has another activity. And then you have to do the personal statement essays models by next Wednesday at 7:35 in the morning, which is a crazy thing. But for some of you, you could get that done today. Because you could say, awesome, I'm done at 1:04. I'm going to go have lunch. I'm going to finish my homework, and I'm not going to have to think about English on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Wouldn't that be nice to do it when it's fresh in your brain? I don't know. Do what you want. Here we go. Let's put back. So your job, you guys need to leave. You need to leave on your machine. And if you don't have your machine, I'm sorry, but I'll put it up on the blow-up machine. There is a little thing here called Personal Statement Essay in Google's Classroom. And it says annotate these essays. You need 5 comments per essay, and fill out the chart. So you'll open it up, and it looks like this. So there are 4 personal essays, and I've numbered them, 4, 5, 7, and 11. We'll call them 1, 2, 3, 4. The first essay is called 12, and there's a little chart at the end. The second essay is called Flying. The third essay is called Poop, Animals, and the Environment. And the fourth essay is called Little Porch and the Dog. First impression only. 12, Flying, Poop, Animals, and the Environment, or Little Porch and a Dog. Raise your hand right now and tell me which one you want to do. Go, right now. Commit to one.
Little Porch and a Dog.
No, just 1, 2, 3, 4. 12, Flying, Poop, Environment, Animals, or Little Porch and a Dog. Go, commit to one right now. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to take whatever it is. 4, 4, 2, 4, 4. Looks like a lot of 4s. Here we go. This is a personal statement essay. You would just, as you're reading it, you would highlight something like this. And so you would highlight this and you would say, oh, I've got a comment about that. And you would make a little comment about whatever you see. I don't care what you see. Like if I was going to do the third one, I might actually highlight this. Poop. And I might actually say, an interesting word choice to start your personal essay with, because everybody giggles at the word poop. Okay? Poop is such a fun word. Think of how many synonyms we have for poop in the English language. Okay? Poop. Poop is such a fun, interesting thing, isn't it? When you have children, you'll understand poop more than you understand it now. Anybody poop today yet? I totally pooped today. Okay? And people don't like to talk about it. And it's so amazingly. Why are we so afraid to talk about death? Why are we so afraid to talk about poop? We'll talk about what we think about, like, William Barr and whether or not he's doing a good job as the Attorney General, but we refuse to talk about poop. It's gross. Why do we think it's gross? Well, why we think it's gross, of course, is because poop contains things which can make us sick, and so we have an aversion to poop to make us naturally move away from it. But then your dog eats poop. Has Libby ever eaten poop?
No.
Whose dog eats poop?
I didn't.
Your dog. Nobody's dog in here eats poop? Dogs eat poop. All right, whatever. Okay, sorry. Here we go.
No, like human.
Hey, guys at home, if you like this discussion of poop, like and subscribe. Here we go. What do you think of this? You can say it out loud, but you can also put it in a comment box. A little porch and a dog. It goes just like this. It was the first Sunday of April. My siblings and I were sitting at the dinner table giggling and spelling out words in our alphabet soup. The phone rang and my mother answered. It was my father. He was calling from prison in Oregon. My father had been stopped by immigration on his way to Yakima, Washington, where he'd gone in search of work. He wanted to fulfill a promise he'd made to my family of owning our own house with a nice little porch and a dog. Fortunately, my father was bailed out of prison by a family friend in Yakima. Unfortunately, though, most of our life saving was spent on his bail. We moved into a rented house, and though we did have a porch, it wasn't ours. My father went from being a costurero sewing worker to being a water filter salesman, mosaic tile maker, and lemon deliverer and butcher. Money became an issue at home, so I started helping out more. After school, I'd rush home to clean up and make dinner. My parents refused to let me have a real job, so on Saturday afternoons, I'd go to the park with my older brother and collect soda cans. Sundays and summertime we spent cleaning houses with my mother. I worked twice as hard in school. I helped clean my church, joined the choir, and tutored my younger sister in math. As tensions eased at home, I returned to cheerleading, joined a social club called Step Up, and I got involved in my school's urban farm, where I learned the value of healthy eating. Slowly, life improved. Then I received some life-changing news. My father's case was still pending, and due to a form he'd signed when he was released in Yakima, it was not only him that was now in danger of being deported, it was my entire family. My father's lawyer informed me that I'd have to testify in court, and in fact, our stay in the U.S. was now dependent on my testimony. The lawyer had an idea. I had outstanding grades and recommendation letters. If we could show the judge the importance of my family remaining here to support my education, perhaps we had a chance. So I testified. My father won his case and was granted residency. Living in a low-income immigrant household has taught me to appreciate all I have been given. Testifying in court helped me grow as a person and has made me more open-minded and aware of the problems facing my community. And my involvement in the urban farm has led me to consider a career as a nutritionist. Though neither of my parents attended college, and they understand that college is a key factor to the bright future, and therefore have been very supportive. And though we don't yet have the house with the small porch and the dog, we're still holding out hope. I believe college can help. And then the entire essay is printed again in Spanish. So that's a how really fast. Consider how this essay was crafted. What is the specific choice the essayist made in the piece? To do the piece twice, once in each language. What's another thing that they structured? I think it's pretty interesting that this piece is what value does this kid have, this person? I think the power of words matter. Whether I'm testifying or playing with alphabet soup, the letters and words are everywhere in this essay. If I'm reading this, I know this is a person who cares about language. It's written in Spanish. The kid has alphabet soup at the beginning. the testimony and the trial. What was the story? Could you retell the story really quickly, prove you read it? Sure. Once upon a time on April, blah, blah, blah. Why? What values and essence is in here? Hard work, love of family, whatever. Make sense? That's all you have to do, is do something that does those three things, okay? So your job, my friends, and I know you're packing, your job is to read the essays and comment on them. And then right now, you should log out of class. You should check out right now. So if you're at home, you should be checking out of class. And it may not have turned on quite yet because it turns on at the end of class. But at the end of class, I think if I need just refresh this, it'll show up. You're going to use those next Wednesday. We're going to on the back, okay? Is it there yet? Is the checkout thing there yet? It's supposed to turn on at 12:59, but it will turn on. And then you just answer the question that's there and you're off, okay? It's way more important for you to check out at home. It'll be on for 15 minutes, okay? But in class, you just kind of do it while we're sitting here. Or you don't do it and you do it when you get home. Or you don't do it because I know you're here so you don't have to do it. But otherwise, you guys in Google Classroom can see it has all these like missings. That's just annoying, right? You should not have any red missings by your names, okay? Is it there? Did it show up? Come on, man. I can't believe Google can't keep track of time. Schedule for 12:59. Unbelievable. It's amazing how now. And if I try to change it right now, it'll say it's already on. Is it there yet? See, there it is. Okay. I know it does it. And technically we're still in class, so you still can check out. So it's not like I'm keeping you from, what are you gonna eat today?
McDonald's. That's
McDonald's? Sonic? Salad. God. Chick-fil-A? Little chick, nice. I'm gonna have 2 chicken skewers, 11 carrots, and I eat 11 carrots every single day for the last 20 years. Every single day. Why? Because otherwise I would eat chips.
So why 11?
Because 11 seems like a good number, and I don't think about how many carrots to eat. 11 mini carrots every day. Have a nice day, don't smoke. Bye, guys. Yep. I hope you're safe and well fed. Happy weekend. That was the longest short week of our high school careers. Bye.
Well, no, he doesn't like being present.
No, yeah, you gotta kind of learn that, right? Little kids, I bet, are kind of annoying.
Oh,
Because you want to support their like love of things.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Friesen. Hey, I'll email you this weekend if I'm under some time.
Nice, and you don't have to answer this question. Just say
Bye-bye.
no, and I won't take offense of it. Is this for that?
No, so I have focal seizures and thoughts, so I pass out. And
You're
I,
Abby. Oh, God,
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about. Have you been here all 4 years? Okay. We did a fundraiser here, raised $5,000 for Dysautonomy International. My wife and I have done major events. We're huge advocates for the community. My daughter's a senior here, and she's been living with POTS for 5 years. We went to the Mayo Clinic for a month.
that's
So
where I'm at.
yeah, pain in that center. No, okay. But anyway, so you're not the only. Yeah. So I completely understand the world you
Yeah.
live in. So.
She is a hyperglycemia dog too, though.
Okay.
So it's kind of like diabetes, but
Well,
without
And
diabetes.
the only thing I wanted was just the idea of, is she sensing that you might pass
Well,
out?
she
or
just,
something?
yeah, just then she popped up, and that was because my heart rate was 178. So
And, yeah, well, I appreciate what you're going through. Let me know if you need help. Bye.
I will see you next week.
Oh, I just did that on the live stream. You're okay, right?
Yeah, I'm good. No,
Bye.
I'm fine. I'm very open about that.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
You too.